think that's a good idea, sir.
Well, for once, Commander Cole and I are in total agreement, sir. By the way, I do have 50 gallons of bouillabaisse that I need to prepare by tomorrow.
My birthday.
Yes, sir, I could do the cheeseburger routine.
No, it's not for me. It's the crew. They really love that stuff. So we'll
Round one, fight!
Come on, you ape! You want to live forever?
It's Wednesday, February 15th, and we're ready with Rambo, First Blood Part 2. Welcoming my guests, Shanta and Jetty and Jericho Green. How you doing, boys?
Chilling. Glad to be back. What a great movie.
All right. How was your Valentine's? Did you get the lady chocolate? Take her out to dinner?
I got her some flowers and a card. My son picked out the card and then proceeded to take credit for everything.
Good. I like that. I like that move. That's a power move right there.
It was great. We had dinner with the kids and stuff, put in the bed, watched our favorite show and everything. So, yeah, it was a great night, man.
All right. What is your favorite show?
Right now, we're watching Game of Thrones.
Oh, is it your first time or?
Yeah, first time. We're wrapping up season 4. So,
those are the best ones, like 4 and 5, like the middle of it right there. Good stuff. So,
yeah, we're enjoying it.
A little dirty that show, but you know,
a lot of murder and titty.
Yeah,
that's right.
That was the name of the band I was in high school, the Murdering Titties.
Yeah. I got the missus a box of chocolates and did the Valentine's Day thing. It was cool. I had a great Valentine's Day. How about you, boss?
We had dinner at one of our favorite Italian restaurants in town. I got her some chocolates at C's Candy, the chocolate almonds that she likes, and just had a really relaxing night. Came home and had a good time, as it were.
Yep.
So very nice.
Yeah. You know what? I remember long ago, you know, when you're still in that courting phase and stuff, but when you're married, you always got a Valentine. It's always going to be a good Valentine's Day. You know, my heart goes out to those guys who are still trying to, you know, pin it down. Good luck. Stick with it. Consistency.
I want to get back to the guys trying to get a date, but Shanth.
Oh, geez. On the one
think
day,
about what you think about in your dickish Indian accent. Can you do it?
Here's the problem, kids. I'll do my best here. If I have to come back to it, here, put up on screen so I can see your name there.
Oh, sorry. Oh, it's gotten away from me. Okay. His birthday was Monday. Happy birthday.
Yep.
Think about what you think about. I want to wish you, of course, a belated happy birthday, as well as a belated Diwali. And I want you to know in this winding road that we call life, it's going to be full of dosa and laddu, but do not be distracted, my friend. I want you to move forward into this next year because, as we say in India, at any moment you might die.
Wow.
There you go.
The national
That's
motto.
a typical
You're
Indian.
straight to the point in India.
Yeah,
Right.
when my wife met my father, he said to me, and it was classic him. He goes, he said, I was stressed out. I was trying to figure out what I was gonna do, and he goes, "You're so stressed out." He goes, "How old are you?" Great thing when your dad has no idea since you were 5, like when it was single digits. Like, how old are you? And I said, well, Dad, I'm 20 something. He goes, and he takes his hands out and he's like, well, Tata died, grandfather died at about 70 years old. So when you think about it, you probably only got at maximum 50 years left. So just relax. And my wife was like, just meeting him was like, what the?
Welcome to the family,
Oh
baby.
my God.
Okay,
Yeah, I was like, welcome to hell, baby.
Okay. Good man. It's what you were saying about you feel sorry for the guys like trying to get the Valentine's Day, trying to get something going.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that all of us got with our ladies before this modern internet dating age.
Oh,
My
man.
brother is single, but he's 45, a year
Ready to
and a
mingle.
half older than me, and he tells me it's a shit show. He tells me all this Bumble and Tinder and Instagram and who boy. He tells me it's not good out there. So good luck, Abe.
Hey, shout out to Abe, man. Shout out to
Yeah.
Abe.
Yeah,
But
shout
see,
out
at least he knows he has a foot in both worlds. He remembers the good old days.
right.
So
Yeah.
maybe he can seek out it when he wants to. Maybe he can seek out somebody who's fond of those old days as well, and maybe
Well, that's
connect
what
the
I told
old-fashioned
him.
way.
I said
know?
people will treat you the way you tell them to treat you, subconsciously or consciously, And I said the premise of the internet is lies. Everyone is lying and flexing and pretending, and women with the fake face filters and whatever. Everyone's lying on the internet. So when you agree to date someone via the internet, I feel like it starts off as just lies. Because I don't know, he was just complaining.
Well,
to
I'm
me that
actually.
it's hard
bring
out
that
there
up
for a
and
brother to find a
it's
quality woman.
Not look. Maybe now's the best time for me to bring this up right now. But I'm actually not Indian.
Oh no.
This
I knew it
this
would
skin
come
color
out.
is not
What?
real. I'm actually the Prime Minister of Canada.
Oh.
Prime Minister
Too soon?
Blackface. Good to have you.
Too soon. First of all, I've seen Aladdin in many incarnations. I just want to throw that out there.
Ooh.
That was a man who has a problem, and he's what we like to call a repeat offender.
I like when he was running for prime minister or whatever, and the blackface scandal erupted. Some
Yeah.
reporter confronted him on it and said, "How many times did you do blackface?" And he was like, I don't recall." He's like 5.
He's like,
10,
so many.
15. He's like, "Can you ballpark it?" And he couldn't even ballpark it. So
I like the idea of his campaign manager asking him that, going, "Okay, but less than 50, right, Justin?" He's like,
So how many weeks in a year? Because I try to get
how many
at
Wednesdays
least-
since I was born?"
At least try to get one in once a week. I just don't feel right if I don't Al Jolson it up.
right.
Oh, Jesus.
But it's hard to be a love child of a Canadian
hard.
woman and a Cuban.
Oh,
That is the prime minister of Canada. That's him.
That's
He thought that was a good idea.
but that's not even Aladdin. That would be like brown face.
I don't
That's
know.
like
Why
black-
is the guy next to him trying to lick him? Look closely there.
That's just a preview. That's just a preview of the night.
we don't know what that is. I think it's the.
He
point
looks like
we
he's
have to
dressed
make.
like an Arab guy. You could see like the head dress thing. He looks
Oh,
like he's dressed
he has
like a
that little red and white checkered thing with the
Yeah,
that's right.
like a Saudi prince.
yeah. So maybe they're doing like a Middle Eastern thing. But yeah, man, it looks it's not a good look when you're trying to run for prime minister. But hey, it didn't stop him. He's the
It's gotta be
man.
5 o'clock somewhere.
He's the soft-spoken, deviant man. He's the prime minister who can just decree things. He's like king.
Mousy points out he was black less frequently than Michael Jackson, just barely.
Ugh, well,
Too soon.
what stage of Michael Jackson are we talking about? Because Michael
that's
Jackson
right.
had, he had some dark, some dark skinny years, and
Right,
then,
that is true.
Then it got crazy.
Okay, but we support Trudeau. We love him. We love him around here, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I was Canadian, I'd vote for him.
Yeah, I never made a video of him falling down the stairs.
Yeah,
I've never brutally chastised him on my channel. Never.
Well, you're not that way. I mean, it's not your nature.
No, you got to recognize greatness when you can, and we found it up north in America's Hat.
Yeah. I like that, America's Hat. Jim Rome, the radio guy, used to say that. It's hilarious to me. What is that?
Phenomenal.
Is Mexico America's jants or shorts or whatever?
Jeggings.
You know those jean shorts, just jants or whatever.
Yeah, there are Lululemons. There are nut huggers.
We are running out of ideas, I think, in this fine country of ours. I think it's a possibility.
I want to say we'll get to Rambo First Blood Part 2. It's a masterpiece. But I want to recommend to you guys, because it was recommended to me and it was so good. First Blood by David Morrell. Is it David or Dennis? It's David Morrell. The book. I do audiobooks because I'm drawing all day, making comic book art all day. And I listened to it over like the last 3 days while I've been working, and it's fantastic. First Blood, the audiobook, it's so good. It's different from the movie, but the premise is the same. But holy shit, it's good. So thank you. I think it was Hunch the Dirty Roofer is a fan who's always around here.
Right on.
He recommended that. So anyone out there, if you're looking for something.
Where'd you find it?
I just went on to Apple Music or Apple Books or whatever and found it. It was freaking amazing. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Hail Hunch.
So, yeah. So here we go with Rambo First Blood Part 2. The thing I would love to point out, first of all, we got to talk about this first before we get in the story, is the weapon that he is holding.
Man, oh man.
The M60 is a light machine gun, fires those huge rounds. It's funny that it's called a light machine gun. I guess the heavy ones are the ones attached to vehicles that you can't carry as a human being. Right? They're like the Vulcan cannon that's attached to the A10.
Well, like a 50 cal, something like that. That's a heavy machine gun.
So anyway, he uses the M60 in the movie, so pretty awesome stuff. But you'll notice on the front of it, we were discussing this before the show. You will notice on the front of it, there is a rocket-propelled grenade jammed into the barrel.
Jam it.
Yeah,
that was big in the 80s. Jam it.
Now
it's actually a technical term.
Right. I feel like if you shoved the back of a grenade down the barrel of your M60, then pulled the trigger, you would die. Spectacular fashion, but you would die. Probably.
Yeah. You have to shove it down far enough. See, what you're doing is you're not shoving it in there far enough. If you shove it in there far enough, you're going to hear a click. That's when you know you're in there and you're able to fire. And if you look, there's another barrel underneath. So somebody thought of that.
That's the bonus barrel.
That's where the ammo is coming out. The top barrel, it usually shoots ammo, but in this situation, he had to put his RPG somewhere. So he's like, I'm jamming it in here.
Sean hit it out of the park right there.
When I hear the click,
excellent.
I know it's in there. Yeah, this one's crazy.
Sean said it's testosterone or a gun.
Yeah.
Shove it all the way on 102.3 The Meat. Yeah.
Get it in there.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know that's where 102.3 The Meat got started. It was Armed Forces Radio, which was broadcasting in Vietnam. So the soldiers would have like a little morale boost. They'd have something to listen to. But it ended up backfiring because 102.3 The Meat's a little too racy, guys.
Well, they started it, and that's when they started having the girl in the background. Shove it. So that's where the guys would get around the radio and really tune into that. Right, but this is not an M60. This in the beginning, in the first movie, it was. This is an HK. It's an HK something or other. Something. But it's an HK, and it's been modified for this movie. So not quite the M60. And there's two kinds of M60s. There's the ones that's mounted that you would see like on a helicopter that's really long, and then there's one meant to be carried. And the one like I said, the one that's mounted is really long. Like it'd be really, really hard to shoot that. And James Cameron, I saw that, I tripped out. I was like, wait a minute, is this more of that poisonous testosterone that you were talking about? Because you did the screenplay for Rambo First Blood Part 2, where everybody dies. So and
this movie to me, in my mind, is held up in contrast to Rambo First Blood, the first movie, because this movie is what I thought the first one was. I never watched the Rambo movies growing up. I just didn't. I've said many times, we weren't allowed to watch anything growing up. We had to go play outside. We had to learn about science. We were like, my mom's motto was be creative. And that's what I do for a living. I'm creative for a living. So I didn't see these until I was well into my 30s. And I'd always assumed that Rambo was a shootout in the Vietnamese jungles. All the movies, I thought that's what it was about. So when I saw the first movie, I was astonished at how deep it was and how good it was. But this second one is more what I had always imagined. So thrilling. But before we get into it, we'll pause for a second. What do you have right here, Sean? What is this you brought up on
I wanted
screen?
to talk about a business with your fine support in the chat that we're going to be launching here.
Yep.
Jericho is going to handle the ingredients, all the details, mass production.
Right.
I'm really just here as a visionary. But
Dude,
we want
beautiful.
you guys to understand. We take your feedback seriously. Jericho, would you like to speak about the product?
Of course I would. Of course, Sean.
I was just saying today that we should explain the bouillabaisse to the people.
Of course, I will explain it on the morrow. Of course, if you've been hanging around here long enough, you know that we did the first. Did I come in? I came in at the end of the first 5 Steven Seagal movies.
Right
on.
So
the last one
here when we had Out for Justice, then Under Siege. That's when you joined the program. Yes,
I think I joined it on Mark for Death.
Oh,
yeah, of course.
Screwface.
Screwface. No, Screwface.
That's right.
Yeah, I think I joined it on that one. So the last one, the last of the first 5 was Under Siege. And of course, and you see it in the intro to this, that Casey Ryback, the cook, he's just a cook. It's the captain's birthday, and he tells him, I got 50 gallons of bouillabaisse downstage. So you get down there, and you find out it's more like 3 gallons of bouillabaisse.
Maybe. You're being generous. Maybe. Not like this much in the pot.
I'm trying to keep Steven Seagal off my ass. So I'd say 2.5, 3 gallons of bouillabaisse. But guys, especially when you get to talking about something, then it just morphs into some crazy shit. Yeah. You end up miles away from where you started.
Yeah, it was 4 touchdowns I scored in that game. And then by the time I tell you next year, it's 6 and 2 interceptions.
It's 6 touchdowns, 158 rushing yards, pass for 450, no interceptions.
So I had to kick a field goal because the kicker got hurt too. So
you kicked 3 field goals, returned 2 punts for touchdown, and 1 kickoff for a touchdown. I'm surprised you guys haven't heard about it. I really am.
Of course. That's right.
But the bouillabaisse, this is one of those things that just morphs and turns and grows into something crazy. So now it's like, hey, you got bouillabaisse right here. And then it's turned into this regal photograph right here, created by Sean.
I don't even like seafood, and I would eat this bouillabaisse.
Let me tell you something.
I don't like seafood, but I would eat this.
Let us know in the chat, in sincerity, if there's a T-shirt of this, would you buy it from greengear.com? Come on now.
That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. That's what people are telling me. They're like, I got to have this on a shirt or a mug. Why not both?
Just saying.
But it has to be on black. I want it to it has to be on a black background. I don't think it would look good.
Why is it got to be black?
Absolutely.
Man? Why? Because Black History Month or one of those things? Or...
Yeah, and also a variety of reasons, but I'll take that one.
We'll put that to one side. It's got to be on black with a slimming feature for me.
Yeah, it's going to be great, man. This is beautiful. But when I talk this manner, this is who.
That's
a picture in my mind.
That's all I could think about when I was illustrating this. Was you talking that voice? I'm dying.
Like you got to put a face to these characters, and I think this is it. Powdered wig and all.
Yes,
that's right. Put this man on Rushmore. Make it so.
Yeah, you can squeeze me in there, wedge me in there between 2 of those guys. Get me on that mountain. I'll be right next to Washington. There you go.
There you go. Well, great work, Sean. Great work on that, buddy. Mm-hmm. So we still got to find out from Seagal why he was unable to do all 50 gallons. So And Jericho, and is Schwarzenegger still at your house hanging out, or did he leave?
Yeah, man. He's always. I can't get rid of him. We've got the sheriff out here.
All right.
I cannot get rid of him.
Sheriff Barney Diesel's still there.
Maybe
that was some dark territory.
Maybe that's why I can't get him out of here because
okay.
that damn sheriff, man.
Yeah. For those of you just joining us, you missed last week. Barney the dinosaur actually played the sheriff in Rambo 1. A lot of people don't know
known
that.
fact.
A lot of makeup, a lot of prosthetics, but it was actually Barney the dinosaur that played the sheriff. So, but we'll get back to that. We'll explain that again later.
Yeah, we'll come full circle with that one.
Right.
Don't worry.
So,
I do want to say that we noted last week that the budget was $15 million for Rambo First Blood. Turned out to be part 1. But the budget for Rambo First Blood Part 2, anybody want to take a guess?
double. I don't know. 30 million?
Sean?
It's going to hurt my soul. I know it. What was it?
25.5. So damn near double. And it made 300 million.
Jeez.
So this was a bona fide gigantic hit. This was a
300 million,
hit.
and this is what, 1980?
85 came out May 22nd, just in time.
That's like making $1 billion nowadays, right?
Yeah,
that's pretty equivalent. So.
People don't understand.
Yeah. So, like you know, one of those those weird, convoluted Marvel movies.
What's
like one
worse?
of their like worldwides.
What's worse, the original Marvel movies, like the last 10 years ones where they're just like corny, that corny sense of humor, or the new Marvel movies that are just left-wing woke propaganda? What is actually worse? Because I feel like it's a choice between diarrhea and like solid poop. It's like, what's really the difference here?
Well, what's going to go down easier? Like one of those, you're going to have some texture to it.
Wait. Who said we were eating this? You think it passed the sale, man?
Yeah.
No, we're going straight to the table with it. Because I mean, where are the stakes? If you just have a pile of shit in front of you or a puddle of diarrhea, there's no stakes there. We got to ingest it.
Do you think they serve the diarrhea like a milkshake at a restaurant where they put it in the glass and then they give you the metal glass because there's so much extra?
And you got to drink both. You can't leave that shit in the metal.
No, thank you.
I don't know if there's enough whipped cream and maraschino cherries.
Nope.
To combat that kind of milkshake.
Anyway, Marvel movies, boo.
Yeah, dog shit.
Oh, $5. Think about what you think about. Thank you so much, my friend. You guys need to watch the South Park clip with Steven Seagal. It's hilarious. We'll have to check that out for sure.
Hey, okay, think about what you think about. I'll watch that if you watch the Steven Seagal skits from Mad TV with Will Sasso, where he would go around to different places and he would just end up breaking everybody's neck in the entire room.
That's great.
Anybody would look at him. Why are you looking at me? What'd you say? Broken neck. Hilarious. Too funny.
Well, double impact Rambo, First Blood Part 2. We pick up pretty much probably a few months after where we left off last time, where he had the showdown with TC in the middle of the city, and he's off doing hard time, turning big rocks into little rocks.
3 years. He's been there for 3 years.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, because he says, I'm sorry, you've been in here for the last 3 years. I really tried to get you somewhere different. He's like, I've seen worse. Because he's coming from, he's all scarred up and he's been tortured, POW. So yeah, he's seen worse. But the opening scene is someone dynamiting or blasting rocks in this quarry, but it's way on the other side. And he's been, and man, can we get a return to this? Why did we stop doing this?
Well, I see what they're doing there. There's a technique when you're splitting rocks called. Are you men familiar with double jacking? Have you ever double jacked anything?
No. This is somewhat PG-13. Where are you taking this conversation?
Boys. Now
you get a couple of guys, a couple of boys.
Hey.
Look, I was young. I needed the money.
Double jacking is thus. I'm an Old West aficionado. I love all things cowboys, pioneer days, Little House on the Prairie is my favorite television show. You see the two gentlemen on the right. One is kneeling, holding something. One is standing, holding the sledgehammer. The guy kneeling is holding the drill bit. And you hold it, and the other guy bangs it. You twist it a quarter turn. He bangs it, and you twist. You keep twisting it. The other guy keeps double jacking it. And that's how you split the rocks without power equipment. This went on all the time in the old days. Can you imagine being the guy holding the fucking?
I was about to
Like,
say,
dude,
and your
you
buddy
better be
just
good.
blasts you in the hands with the sledgehammer.
Oh, and you can't afford no time off. You can't just take a couple of weeks off to let your hand heal. Probably the next day he'll do it again.
Hey, give him some of the old bang and twist.
Hey, I thought Valentine's Day was yesterday.
Hey, it's Valentine's Day every day if you want it to be.
Yeah.
that's right.
And the guys to the left, the guy on the pair to the left, the guy on the left of that, he's wearing sandals and they're using a jackhammer. So be careful.
Frowned upon.
But these guys, this is great. You know, this is what it should be. I think this would put a real dent in our recidivism rate. But back then, like cutting down trees and stuff like that. You ever see that robot they have, or that attachment they use, or whatever, that will grab a tree? There's a chainsaw in it, cuts the tree in like a half a second, turns it on its side, peels all of the branches off, and like cuts it into sections in like a minute.
Really?
Wow. Oh, you got to look it up. It's crazy. I don't know what the machine is called, but every time I see it, I'm thinking, man, just think of the guys back in the pioneer days coming out west. If they had this machine instead of two guys and a long ass blade.
Oh, they'd want to kill themselves. The minute they saw it, they'd want to kill themselves.
Especially the guy up top, man, taking the top part of the tree down, because that shit happened. And you think, good luck, kids.
The machine it's like a hand, it grabs it, the saw cuts it, and it turns it, peels like you would do with a branch. As a kid, you just peel all the leaves off. It does that to a tree and then cuts it into sections. It is the craziest shit in the world. But I always think, man, if those guys had that back then, I bet they wish, but they're out there just zzz, 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 just singing songs and shit. Man.
Damn.
Oh yeah, we talked about that, the Gandhi dancers on the railroad.
Yeah.
And they would sing like, like Negro spirituals and stuff, and on the downbeat or whatever, that's when they'd all shove the rail, because it took many men to move it at once. So you would use music to time up your movements. It's fascinating.
Yeah. You see that in
go ahead, Sean. Shame they don't know how hard we have it now, though.
It's so hard right now.
They wouldn't be able to handle our lives. I mean,
I heard someone got misgendered yesterday, dude.
We didn't have songs.
I cried.
I'm sure that made up for the.
Like, I didn't stop crying until like right before I got on here. I was like crying so hard.
But yes, double jacking. I'm a big fan of double jacking. So yeah, it's absolutely.
This is going to be clipped, and there's little.
It's the right thing.
You set it up.
Hey, there's a little mountain town. This is what life was like in the pioneer days. There's a mountain town about an hour away from here called Julian, California, Gold Rush town, mid 1800s up to like the 30s or the 40s, and it's a little tourist town now. Apple cider and taffy and peanut brittle and all that stuff. And but there's the Julian Historic Museum. It's just a little house and old stuff. And out front there's some big granite boulders with some like finger-sized holes in them. And there's a plaque talking about a double jack drilling contest that they had one day, like in 1888, when they were having a city picnic or whatever. And it's just like they did this for fun. Like they got around to see who could move the fastest drilling these holes as teams.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess they didn't have TikTok back then. So
they didn't have the internet and like game consoles.
Anyway.
Hard times.
If I had to double jack with anyone, it'd be with you two guys.
That's we get like a three-way jack going? We triple jack?
Triple jack. I don't know about that.
Hey, Sean, see if you can hold that drill bit in your mouth. How Sean died. I missed a little bit. It was hot out there. Smashed his skull into nothing.
But
this is. Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
No, I was just gonna say though, but this is the thing that's crazy about this, because while we're sort of like talking about this, bring this back, there's a lot of different aspects of this, I gotta say, which is, if you think about people as needing to feel some kind of sense of productivity, people feel like some kind of sense of purpose, even a mundane and pointless situation where you make some kind of progress and you work all day. You think of somebody like John Rambo is probably better for your sanity than wandering around nowhere, feeling no purpose and feeling like you're hated by society. And I think that was the thing that really, when you see him, and it's kind of tragic, he's not much further down in terms of his mood than he was 3 seconds after his conversation with his buddy's wife after he passed away. Do you know what I mean? In a lot of ways, he's up from there, because he says, at least here I know where I stand. He's on solid ground, man. You know, and it's pretty amazing, man. Pretty amazing shit.
Right. So so he's in prison, turning, as I said, big rocks into little rocks, double jacking it.
Hell yeah.
And Troutman shows up and gives him
another T-shirt.
Yeah.
As we used to say in the 90s, he gives him the 411 and
right.
tells him that there's possibly some POWs in Vietnam. And since he's the best, what does he tell him? Like, you were one of 3 they considered, but I told him you were the best or something. So we want to, you know, we'll get you a pardon if you can get this done for us or whatever. Going back over to Vietnam, doing some recon work, taking pictures and seeing if they can find where these guys have been held, these POWs. And it's now 1985. I think it's taking place in real time. So that, you know,
yes, 3 years later, because
the
first one was 82. The first one was 82. So this is 3 years later. And he tells him, he's like, because I'm sure you don't want to do another 5 years in this place. So it looks like he got an 8-year sentence. But he was like, and that's when he said, well, at least here, I know where I stand. Like, I know who the enemies are. Yeah. I know who to watch out for. Everybody hangs out in groups. Everybody's marked. Everybody's labeled. You know, nobody here is going to tell me that they're going to do something and then they don't, because the penalty's too stiff. The price is too high. You know, if you're disrespected or lied to or anything or cheated, the penalty must be violence. And if you're in a hardcore enough place or more like a maximum security or something, it's could be death, because there's prisons where they don't fight. There's no fighting allowed. If you can handle it with words, then you handle it that way. If you can't, then you got to kill them. So the stakes are very high. So out here, you know, society's different. You know, people can lie to you and get away with it or whatever. Like he feels betrayed that he's in there. Like, of course he knows you can't take an M60 into a small town and start shooting everything up. Come on, Johnny. But he was pushed there. And he even asked the sheriff, why are you pushing me? Why are you messing with me? I just want to get something to eat. But you know, they end up abusing him.
A sandwich in there and see what the fuck.
Yeah,
happens.
One of the most basic human experiences is, you know, allow somebody to eat, allow somebody to move down their path unimpeded. And he messed with him. They abused him. They beat him. They humiliated him.
Choked
him. You know, you guys, what the hell's wrong with you? Then you come up there, you chase him up in the hills, and you want to still do something to him?
Well, I told you guys I listened to the audiobook this week. And in the book, obviously, they can go into more detail and spend more time with it. And he's trying to get hamburgers in the book. They say what he's trying to get. And Tiesel's like, telling him, you know, make it to go and hurry up. But when he finally arrests him, he like makes him strip down, and he's like, you know, looking in his armpits and looking under his sack. And, you know, when he tells Rambo to take off his underwear, he's like, oh. So what the hell? He's all, oh, come on now. I don't want to do it any more than you want me to do it. He's all, I do this to a lot of drunks and stuff, and everyone's still a virgin when I'm done. So, you know, but it's like, it's more humiliating in the book than in the movie, where they hit him with the hose and they try and shave him. But I don't know, the book's fantastic.
They deny a veteran a hamburger in America. I just want to let's clarify that.
Well, on the 4th of July,
he was fighting for your fucking hamburgers, you jackasses.
He gets the burger in the book, and it's all shabby, and it's not made well, and he's so upset when he's eating it because he's like broke all the time, and you feel for him. Real quick, I want to address this one because he's a new guy. Rich NZ, I think New Zealand. Sup, guys? Salute. New to Gabe's channel, JG. I catch your show all the time. I just recently watched all the Rambos from first to last. Salute to Stallone. Absolutely. And Rich NZ. Would it be crazy for me to ask you to subscribe to our buddy there at the bottom, Shantan Jetty's channel, too? He does some really, really fun stuff with pop culture and beautiful paintings of his comics that he's working on. So check him out, too. So thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it. Guys, hit the like. And, okay, we'll get rolling because we're going slow. Hit the like and share this link out. Let's keep growing it. I love that 60 of you are here right now. And let's get rolling here. So, double jacking. Troutman says, hey, you tired of double jacking? If you've had enough. Well, you know, I was going to do a little more this afternoon, but, you know, my wrist is tired. And he says, you can go on a special ops mission. So here we go. Rambo Part 2.
Yeah, and this is bigger budget, and it shows. You know, you're getting a lot more action in this one. This movie is so old that the TriStar music, in the music in the beginning of the movie is different.
Yep.
The one where it has the Pegasus and it flies over.
Oh.
Like it doesn't even have that. It's something totally different.
Right.
And also we were texting back and forth, but I used to watch the Rambo cartoon, 1986. I used to come home from school. It was and our local TV station was KCBA Fox 35. And it was a KCBA Kids Club. And that's when they played the cartoons in the afternoon. And then about 5 o'clock, then it's like Leave It to Beaver, Give Me a Break, all the,
Now, was it just like G.I. Joe? Because I would imagine that it had some
Rambo
of
and the Force of Freedom, man.
Yeah, it was basically, it was G.I. Joe with a smaller cast. I had the toy. I had the Rambo action figure, the gun.
Did you have the vehicle with the 3 and 3?
No, I didn't have a vehicle. I just had him. I had him.
I had that, man.
His weaponry. He had this like wrist attachment thing that shot saw blades, like the round skill saw blades. Oh man, this cartoon was the shit. But it was like G.I. Joe in the way that, it had a good wholesome message. There was a little PSA at the end, and it was good. It was telling kids, don't be a little shit, be good kids.
There's a question I threw up on the screen there. Someone asked, is there a Rambo comic book? Well, it's funny you ask. There is.
That's right.
I did art for it just recently. It's on sale from your boy Zach. Chuck Dixon is a friend of Sylvester Stallone. He's a legendary comic writer. Chuck Dixon, Detective Comics. He created Bane. He defined Nightwing, Robin. He did a lot of Punisher. Chuck Dixon, good friend of mine. I've interviewed him a few times on this channel. But he wrote some stuff. I'm not going to blow it up here because I don't know if I have permission to show it. But those are pages from a Rambo book I just did art for about 3 months ago. So yes, there is a Rambo comic coming. And check that out. You can find that online. So your boy Zach, it's Comics Matter with your boy Zach is his YouTube channel. And he has that book for sale. So there he is.
Right on.
Nice.
Yeah.
This kicks off pretty quick. He's it starts where they're in like Vietnam, and he goes, it has that nice shot of that statue, and it has like the Asian-y kind of sounding music that they probably use for all Asian type movies and 80s action movies.
Everywhere.
So he tells him, and at first Rambo says, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna stay here and keep like double and triple jacking. But Troutman says, hey, I can get you back out in the field. I get you back in the service. You're reinstated. You can get out there and do what you do, because obviously this is like 10 years after Vietnam. So his skills are very much there. He got to sharpen them 3 years ago in that shit kick town in Washington. So it's in him. He obviously still in shape, and he wants to do it. He wants something to do with his skills. He has these skills. They read his jacket, the classic 80s action, or really action movie period scene where and usually he's not there. Usually it's printing out in some office. Sir, you got to take a look at this. And it's all this shit. Yeah. I thought you said he was a cook. But it's, dude, he has like 3 purple stars, Congressional Medal of Honor, bronze stars, silver stars. This dude is loaded. His file is thick and heavy. This dude's been everywhere. He's done everything. He's expert in this, expert in that. So, like, basically, you could have sent him in there with that survival knife, and he would have been totally fine. Just as many people would have been killed, probably more somehow.
I know I brought it up twice over. Let me bring up the book again. First Blood. It's a fucking bloodbath. In the movie, in Rambo First Blood, I think 3 people die, right? One guy in the force, and then the cop car that crashes, and that's it. He only kills like 2-3 people. In the book, I lost count. He's killing everybody. It's insane in the book.
Love it.
So I
gotta find that. I gotta find an audiobook and listen to that shit.
It's so good. It's so good.
I don't typically support fan fiction, okay? But in this case, my mind went somewhere I couldn't help. When they said you're one of 3 people with the skills to accomplish this mission.
Oh, I know who the other 2 are.
No. I saw you. I bet you don't. I saw them spreading out the files, and one of those cats was Major Payne. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
I want you to picture it.
I don't know, man, because, the beginning of Major Payne, I put it this way. If Rambo could make it, Major Payne did the mission, I'm okay with that too.
You calling me a liar? I just want to
I feel like mission would have still been accomplished.
Oh, I'd pay money for that, man.
Yeah. Major Payne
for that movie.
Rambo, it don't matter.
I really hope these movies come back because I know trends come around on 20-year cycles or more or less. And I saw a clip going around the internet yesterday, some award show or some gala, Hollywood people, and it was Steven Spielberg and Tom Cruise. And everyone knows Top Gun Maverick. I say it's a fantastic film. It's the fifth highest grossing movie of all time. It's like the wokies don't want to admit it's a hit because it's a throwback to this stuff. It's not woke. It's just masculine action adventure. And in this clip, you could hear Spielberg say, man, say something to Tom Cruise like, you may have saved like the movie theater business or the film business or whatever. Like, thank you so much. I'm like, I hope that the shareholders, the stock people, all the people that make the money decisions in Hollywood are like, okay, we'll admit it. We like these shirtless guys toting a gun the size of a surfboard with a sexy babe on the arm. Everyone likes
something important people didn't understand. When he had that rant about the masks on the set, right? And all that stuff. A lot of people read that a lot of different ways. The way I read it is, this is a guy, and I mean, he spelled it out, who's in touch with the money people, the insurance agencies. He's got the world bearing down on his shoulders.
Right.
And I saw a quote from him, or I saw him talking on set where he jumps a effing motorcycle off a cliff into a base jump, which he did the stunt 5 times to make sure they got it and trained for it for the upcoming Mission Impossible film. And they're about to get on the chopper to do another skydive. And he says to the guy he's with, he said, we don't say be careful, we say be competent. And I freaking love that.
Right.
I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, Maverick was great, man. It was great. Yeah, and I hope they take the hint. Hope they follow his lead because I don't want to live in a world with no movie theaters.
Yeah,
I don't want to live in an all streaming world. It's nice to go to the movies. Some movie theaters are really nice.
Yeah,
what
an experience to go to the movies and get the popcorn and all of it. So, but speaking of making these movies, that reminded me on this very channel, like 2 months ago, Sean, Jericho, and myself, we interviewed Van Damme's former, but now current again, body double, stunt double, Todd Senefonte. He's right there on the right. And this is a recent picture from like a week or two on Facebook. He's filming an action movie with Van Damme in LA right now. And when you mentioned the mask, Sean, you reminded me. I asked Todd and I are friends. We private message all the time and joke around all the time. But I asked Todd if I could go on set, like meet Van Damme, and he said because of all the COVID mandates with the Hollywood movies and the mask and the vaccine, blah blah, they don't let visitors on. Like it's like super security. But I was trying. I was trying to get on set so I could ask Jean-Claude, the namesake of the show, so I could ask him a question or two. I know that's presumptuous of me, but
this right here though is his last. Apparently, he's announced this is going to be his last action movie.
Okay. All right.
So that's what Van Damme has announced to me public. And I was like thinking about this, guys. When you guys are watching this show, and Todd is a gentleman, he was very gracious with his time. Obviously, he's friends with Gabe. He's a friend of the channel. Terrific guy. We don't agree with what he does with tigers for a living. We don't think you should do that.
No.
The highest kill count of a tiger in India, just want to be clear about this, was 438. I think everybody needs to, like, one tiger, 438 people. I need you to understand that. It's not a good thing back in the day. However, God bless him. He's got balls of steel, but he's a terrific guy, and I couldn't be happier to see him working with Van Damme.
Yeah, I was so
terrific
happy.
Dude.
So happy that he got that because it'd been a few years since he'd worked with Van Damme, and I know that's like so special to him, you know, and it'd been a while. I think pre-COVID or something since he'd worked with him on something. So
absolutely.
Yeah, look at his face. Yeah, shit, you gotta put that to use. He looks just like him.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, and he's a fun guy. Remember how he was
real cool
and funny. And I asked him if he wants to come back and talk about filming this movie sometime. So we'll have him back for sure. He was just talking to me about this show yesterday in a private message, actually. So about my YouTube channel. So yeah. So anyway,
shout out.
Moving on, and we got Martin Cove here from the Karate Kid right there.
You know, career dickhead.
Yeah,
always playing that smug asshole, and he's cool with them. You know, in the beginning they're cool, but he's still maybe there's some Karate Kid residue left over, but still you're like, I know he's going to be an asshole sooner or later.
Yeah, he is, and he doesn't have a big role in this, but he's a jerk. He
doesn't have a lot of parts in it, but he plays a very pivotal role.
Yeah.
There's a heart-wrenching moment in this movie, and he's in it. So
Yeah.
he plays a big part in the whole plot of it all.
Yeah. Yeah, him
But
and that other guy who I love his partner's look is like a total badass look. It's so 80s Magnum PI, Miami Vice. The guy just has swagger. Like I think he's like balding with sunglasses and like the
he's an asshole too.
Yeah,
but he's the real heavy.
So much swag. I don't know what his deal is.
Yeah, because Martin hesitates when we get to that scene. He's like, they're telling us this. The other guy's the one who pulls the piece.
Man. Yeah, he's a piece of shit for sure.
Right.
Yeah,
but
that
Cobra Kai,
copter.
Cobra Kai didn't put up much of a fight.
Right.
Yeah.
No pun intended. But
speaking of assholes,
right.
Yeah, this is King asshole right here.
Yeah.
Charles Napier. Again, in the 80s, in a movie or a TV series, it don't matter. You need him on the A-team to be a dick, or you need him in a movie to be a dick. It doesn't matter. He doesn't turn down roles. Charles Napier was that, and we were talking about it too. He was the leader of the Good Old Boys band in the Blues Brothers. Yeah. He was the one driving the RV, chasing him down. So this is the guy he plays. And, he kind of has that look, and he has the voice, and he's just this great character actor.
We were noting before the show they had to find someone that looked like Brian Dennehy, just thinner.
That's totally true.
What do you got
like
for me?
Villain chair from the first movie.
He's all perfect. I got him right here, and
right.
He plays his part perfectly.
Right. So they start to go into it, talking to Rambo about what his secret mission is going to be. And they tell him they got some aerial photographs of what they think may be positions where U.S. soldiers are being held as POWs. And they're going to have Rambo go in there because he's the best there is, right? And go do some recon work.
Because he knows the land. He knows the terrain. He's been there before. He's definitely the most – I don't know who these other two guys were, whether it were Major Payne or somebody else.
Yeah.
But he knows the terrain. He knows the layout. So
it was Major Payne and then surprisingly Howie Mandel. I don't know.
Glad they didn't give it to him.
Yeah.
But this is they're telling him where it is, and he tells him, I just want you to take some pictures, because the way Troutman sold it to him was, you're getting back in the game. We got some shit going on in Vietnam. You need to go back in there. And he can, not only is he getting back in the game, getting back to doing what he does best, but he gets to exact a little revenge. He gets to, put a thumb in the eye to the Viet Cong one more time. Hell yeah.
Rambo's like, what do you mean I'm not going to save him? And Troutman's like, this is not a John Cena movie, okay? You're not going to bust in there and save your comrades like John Cena in the first 5 minutes of the Marine.
That's right.
Oh, just sitting there out in the open, just spraying. So he's kind of pissed, He's like, well, what the fuck? But he tells him, hey, you're just going to go take some pictures. It's all about surveillance. You bring us the information, the proof. Then Troutman is going to go in with the extraction team. So that's what sells him on it. His boy Troutman, Danky Frankie, mine too. This is my favorite. This came out when I was a little kid. By the time it made it to video,
better than the first one.
It's bigger in my life than the first one.
Yeah, definitely. Because I didn't see the first one until I was an adult.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me say this
on
too.
Regular rotation.
Okay.
Would you agree with this, Jericho, that the first one is a finer bit of cinema, but this one is, to me, it's like Raiders of the Lost Ark as an action movie. Like it's its own thing.
Definitely. I think the first one is, Ruth's Chris or Del Franco's quality.
Yeah.
Nice, well done. At every level, just the best of the best. And it's still steak, but this is like Red Lobster steak. Oh, It's yummy. It could still be good, but it's not quite the quality. It's not quite Wagyu, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's still damn good. And this was what I watched all the time as a kid. I believe my parents actually bought the videotape at one time, so it was on with this one. But the other one, I saw it when I was an adult. Great movie, but this is excellent. Even though same character, same storyline, kind of not as the first one, but we've seen in other action movies in this time. Still great. Still,
this one's got a special place in my heart, man. It's like,
man.
People ask me, when we talk about Double Impact or we talk about movies in general, people go, what do you think the best Van Damme movie is? And I always will say, you mean the one I would suggest somebody watch and check out, or the one that is like my favorite? Rambo First Blood Part 2 is in its own category outside of the Rambo movies for me. Watched it 100 times. Loved it as a kid. Watched the cartoon. It's bigger than, like, as a cultural phenomenon. It made Rambo what people think of Rambo as being. But it's like comparing, you know, it's like Jaws was its own movie. Rambo First Blood Part 1 was its own movie. Right. With this, it just took it to another stratospheric, you know, high that is unique.
Right. No, you're exactly right. Thank you, Frank. You said it just as you said it. So you have parallel thinking here. Rambo 2 is the quintessential Rambo. It has the most tropes that we think of when we think of Rambo. I said earlier, when I finally saw Rambo 1, I was like, oh. And I saw Rambo 2 like the next day. I watched all 3 like in a week or something like that, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, I always had assumed that Rambo was the second one. So you're right, Sean, and thank you, Frank. You're right. This is the one that like defines it. Basically, the first one is very much more psychological. It's much more sad and dramatic. It's melancholy. It's a study in like the psychology of post-traumatic stress disorder. This one is just a lot more fun. This one, I guess, it's a lot more carefree, like crazy action. So
what's his name? Murdoch. He's bullshitting him. He says, "Hey man, I get it, man. I was here too. I was in the 2nd Marines, blah blah blah, in Da Nang or whatever." And so he cuts to Rambo and he's looking at him, and then boom, boom, boom. He tells him the mission. He tells him that it's only going to be surveillance. He's kind of pissed, but then again, when Troutman says when he tells him he's on the head of the extraction team, okay, I'll do it. As long as I know somebody I can trust, my boy is going to be on that extraction team. So I know he's going to do his best to get as many people out of there as possible. Damn it, he'll get them all out of there. Because that's Troutman. We've been in the shit together. Troutman told him, I was there with you in the blood and guts. So this is his boy. He can trust him. So when they get ready and shit, and he's telling him, hey, let the technology do the heavy lifting.
I like the technology here of 1985. These are the most advanced computers in the world. There's a bunch of big gray boxes with lights on them.
Just like file cabinets with lights on the front.
But R2D2 comes rolling in that shit.
He tells him, let the technology do the work for you. A lot has changed since you were here. Let it do the heavy lifting for you. Just get in and get out. So he's like, all right, cool. So then that's the first time you see that. If you go back to where him and the knife, it's the first time you hear that Rambo sound that I've never heard in any other movie. It's probably copyrighted. I don't even know how to explain it, but if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. So it shows him suiting up, and it shows his arms, and the muscles. It's panning down from his bicep to his hand, and he's sharpening that survival knife. And I wish I could have been an adult when this came out. And the year before this came out. I wish I was an adult in 1984 because I would have went out and bought stock in survival knives. Because when this movie came out, every Tom, Dick, and Harry who saw this is the piece of Rambo I can get. I may not be able to get those muscles and do all that crazy shit, but I can get the knife. Could you imagine? I'm sure there has to be
3 or 4 of my friends had them. I'm not joking.
Survival knife sales after. No bullshit. No bullshit. Yep. I would totally invest in that because this had an effect.
Yeah. I mean, I want the old lady from Titanic to come on screen right now and go, they called it the knife of dreams, and it was.
Hell yeah. I had like 2 of these, not as a little kid. But when I was an adult, I even had them and stuff because you open the handle. It's a real survival knife. You got fishing line in there, hooks, waterproof matches, a wire for cutting shit. I mean, you got everything in there.
Right.
And so he's sharpening this knife because that's his real weapon. Like if you can tell if everything else goes, this is what I'm gonna fight.
That's
to the
true love. Look at the way he's looking at that knife.
Too. Yeah, that's all the love he knows up until this point.
You want a woman to look at you that way,
this is love. That's the one thing he can trust that's going to be there for him when the shit gets bad. And so when he's getting on the plane in the next picture, he's telling Troutman, hey, didn't he say he was in the blah 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 1966 2nd Marines? He's like, oh, they were over in this place, in another place. He goes, you're the only one that I trust. Yeah. He tells him, you're the only one that I trust.
Right.
And so, he gets on the plane and he lets him know right there, I don't trust this motherfucker because he's lying. Yeah. And that also shows you the intelligence of Rambo. He's not just this hammer that you point in this direction and go to destroy. He's intelligent. He's very intelligent. He's picking up on that shit. He's listening to these guys. And how would he's in the Army. He's not like a Marine. I can understand if he was a Marine
Well,
he would know where those other ones were. He's Army.
I don't know if they say it in the movies, but I know in the book that I keep talking about, Troutman says over and over and over that he is the best soldier that his school has ever produced. You know, his school is his special forces school. So he's absolutely brilliant and savage. You know,
he's the man, and he's getting in that plane. And it's time to go.
I will say this because I remember we talked about the book versus the movie, and I know the gist of the book, particularly the end or whatever, but this Rambo First Blood and Rambo First Blood Part 2 are so important because, and same thing with the cartoon, because if you think about it, it was a story based on making a hero out of a Vietnam veteran. And think about how important that was for the culture. If he had died at the end of the first movie, if we had gotten anything less than the sequel, this sequel to me was a very healing movie about people left behind. And what this has in it, and what this gives him that the first movie didn't have, was a mission. This is the first time we're seeing Rambo on a mission. He knows what the mission is. Even if he deviates from it, even if they have other plans, he has a chance to go and rescue these guys. Right. And how can you not be excited by this movie and uplifted by it?
To expand on that, on the audiobook I listened to, there's an introduction by the author, creator of Rambo, David Morrell, and he says that was an issue for veterans here at home, being vilified, spit on, called baby coach, but there was an issue of, hey man, there's POWs over there and the country's not doing anything about it, and we know they're over there. So that was a big emotional thing for vets, apparently, he's been told. And there's a line in this movie, I think in the second one, I think it's when he's getting him out of the rock quarry from all that double jacking.
Yeah.
I think when he tells Rambo about the mission, Rambo says, can we win this time? And he says that line went over with the veterans like fucking A. If you've studied anything about the Vietnam War, there's a great book called The Best and the Brightest. And it's just about how our government, it looks intentional to me, but I can't ascribe intent because I can't read their minds, just fumbled that war on purpose. Like, of course, America could defeat a country like Vietnam in an afternoon, but it seemed like our technique was send in one soldier at a time and never get anything done and sacrifice these boys' lives for who knows what, just military industrial complex. But yeah, The Best and the Brightest, I recommend that. That's a good book. It's not too long. It's a nonfiction book by a famous reporter. What's his name? I can't remember it right now, but it goes into the civilian and military, like all the meetings they have and the decisions they make and how terrible those decisions were for the soldiers, where they didn't just let them either stay out of it or just attack fully. You know, and I think that whole concept of, do we get to win this time? That's a great line in this one, you know. So.
The problem with that situation is similar to the problem we have here on Double Impact, where Jericho, when we're watching Under Siege, will not let me explain to him how the Navy works. And I think that is...
I won't. You're right.
Oh, my God. You know, I mean, but people talk about this. I was listening to Temple Grandin, who's a famous PhD and a brilliant woman, talking, and she goes, the breakdown you're seeing right now in society in terms of competency, hand skill competency, is she goes, you have everything is being run by people who only go into the field for photo ops. And it's so completely true. People who are actually in the field, they never talk to. They're not people explaining how things are going. They don't listen. That's it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw Mike Cernovich. He's big on Twitter talking about that yesterday, about the train derailment and woke diversity hires getting jobs in. And I'm not saying the train thing happened because of that, but he was just talking about the concept of plane crashes, different things happening when it comes to infrastructure and dangerous jobs that require high skill. And we have this culture, what you were just talking about, Sean, where, hey, let's hire someone because they're woke or they're gay or they're black or they're an immigrant or whatever. And it's like, this is not a good idea.
Ooh, all three if you can. If you can get that trifecta and put them in a wheelchair, unstoppable.
Unstoppable, you know, until the electricity doesn't work or the water stops flowing or whatever.
Yeah, or you need them to do their job.
Right.
Why can't we get a cage fighter with leprosy? I'm just saying.
You will for one fight. You'll get him for one fight.
Oh, yeah.
But then he starts to fall apart after that.
Yeah. Oh. Jeez.
What do you call a leper in a bathtub? Soup.
Stop.
Wow, that is raunchy, dude. Dude, that I can't. Did I just say raunchy, bro?
Dude, so raunch, dude. Like what?
Oh.
Too soon, Jericho. Too
I was
soon.
like,
Too soon. Gotta wait another 2,000 years. All right.
All right. So anyway, they're loaded up. And who
Anyway.
doesn't love the red lights in the plane when they're making that drop?
Oh yeah, we're going to
I
do
saw-
some shit.
territory. I
One
do
of the
like
coolest
one
things.
note about this though. They say you're going to drop from 250 feet. I have never jumped out of a plane, but I
Not
am
a lot of
quite
time.
certain. I'm quite certain.
Not a
that's
lot
not
of
high
time.
enough. That's not high enough. Dude.
I think it meant you're gonna open your chute at 250 feet.
He said there's a ceiling, a flight ceiling of 250 feet. I heard him say.
Dude,
So,
if
I thought that was
can the
funny.
plane even fly at 250 feet?
For a
250
while.
feet, that's low as shit. That plane is moving so fast at 250 feet off the ground. Holy shit.
It's a movie. Let it
You
go.
have to worry about getting a cat in the engine.
Oh, goodness.
He would, wow, it'd be his last jump.
But I love
That's
the
messed up.
all black suit for dropping into the jungle. He has his gear.
That's right.
He has guns. He has a duffel bag, guns, weapons, supplies, all that.
Yeah, he's ready to go.
Right. And he jumps out, but his some
nightmare.
strap of his gets caught there on some metal hinge or something on the door on the edge of
Yeah.
the plane. So he's stuck and he's just being tossed and he's hitting the side of the plane. He's gonna get killed. You know what I mean? It's not going well. But it's a neat little plot device because you realize if you write or whatever, you can figure this out. The reason they do this is so he loses all his gear. So then
Yep.
it's just
Yep.
him with the knife in the jungle.
Exactly. That's who he
Yeah.
ends up with anyway.
Right.
That's why he loves it so much.
Yeah, he has to cut that strap so he doesn't get
Dude.
gets mangled to pieces here, dragging on this jet with all the turbulence. So yeah,
Can
cuts
we
it. and
talk
jumps.
about
Go ahead.
I don't care how fucking stupid you try to convince me this dude is. He's got to know basic physics that you can't with your hand pull on an
No.
airplane dragging a man
No,
off the hook. And I was looking at this the whole time. He's like, cut him loose. He's like, it won't punch. I'm like, get a knife, you fucking jackass.
Yeah. You're not gonna pull it off. You're not that strong, buddy.
We're dragging a whale. Wait, let me see if I can get
He's like, let me see if I can chew on it.
uh,
But yeah, it's all
Oh.
bad. Rambo, he cuts away all his gear, but are you worried in the
Yeah.
least for a millisecond that he's not going to be okay? Hell no. That probably made him more dangerous now that he only has his knife. Because
Right.
that thing that's his partner. You'll see it's his tool. It's his
lover, confidant.
Well, I think they cut the scene where he made love to it. But he's like sitting there talking to it. You're not gonna tell anybody, are you? But
When we're alone like this, I just feel like I can be myself with you. You know, it's never been like this before.
it's just laying there. But he's talking to a character later in the movie, and he's like using the knife to kind of like poke at the ground, like because he's nervous. It's almost like his safety blanket, his stress reliever. The knife is a lot of things to him. But yeah, he cuts himself loose. He hits the ground, literally running, and I feel bad for whoever is in his way.
Yeah,
Because Rambo's back in his element and he's feeling good, and then he runs into somebody.
yes, and this is well, first he gets that moment from Hard Target with Van Damme.
Snake
Where
grab.
the snake comes out of the tree, and then Van Damme punches the snake and kills it. Same thing here. A snake comes out of the jungle, comes out of the tree, and and Stallone grabs it here, puts it out of its misery, and he's skulking around, and he runs into this light-eyed Asian woman,
Ko.
Ko. That is her
Ko.
name.
I'm back.
CO.
I'm back, guys.
Where were you?
No, I had to get some more boiling hot water to pour down my throat.
Oh,
I had a crush starting right here at this movie with her. I was
Gorgeous.
like, oh, there's a beautiful angel. I hope nothing happens to her in a Rambo movie.
And but she does good. I mean, judging
She's
by her
fantastic.
real name, she doesn't really talk like this. But
No.
she did a good job. I don't think it was corny at all. I think with that
awesome.
larger budget, they put it to good use. Definitely more, more explosions and shit like that. But they got some quality actors. And Charles Napier, he's a dick, but yeah, he's a great actor. Cobra Kai, he's a dick too, but he's a great actor. They got a lot of good people to surround Stallone in this. Not that he needed it, because in the first one we saw his acting chops. Damn, all that Rocky shit. That was a good job acting. So
Hell yeah.
He didn't need it. He didn't need all these people to support him and make him good, but they put him around him, and it worked out. And she's a little badass. She's his. I think she's his. His equal. I guess if in a female's body.
Did I miss something? It feels like, okay, they meet in the jungle. He's running around, and it feels like he knows her from the past. Did I miss a line of dialogue? Because it just feels like, oh yeah, it's you again, is how it felt when I was watching this. Did I miss something?
No, I think that she's just so well informed and she's on her shit that it's kind of a seamless transition. She's not slowing him down. She's not my ankle. She's not.
Oh no.
She's not. What's her name from Temple of Doom?
Right.
Oh yeah.
He's not. She's not a hindrance. She's walking in front of him. He's keeping up with her. So I think that just made it.
He's walking behind her. He's walking behind her for a reason. Mouse C is saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said,
looks good from back here.
Yeah, from where I'm standing, looks pretty good. But
like
she,
two bobcats in a burlap sack. Wait, what?
Hey, you got there's 2 hams in there, So he's trying to keep up with her. So I think that's why it maybe felt that there was a familiarity between them. And because she's telling him, my dad used to do this, but he got killed. Hey, I'm watching both the 6s.
Yeah.
I tell you guys, it's a 10.
No. After you.
Please, Lady Mercenaries first.
Yep.
So she.
Oh, wait a minute, Mouse C. You cracked the case right open. He just got out of prison.
Yeah, I've been double jacking it for 3 years, so you have to excuse me. I can't help it, Hey, if you was double jacking for 3 years, you'd feel the same way.
It won't take long.
It's over.
So where do you want to? Hey, where are we going? So I think that's why it made it seem that way, because she knows what the hell she's doing. She's been running and gunning in these jungles for a long time because her dad taught her. So but he has to trust her, and he obviously just said he told Troutman, "You're the only one I trust," but now I have to trust this jungle woman with the light eyes that I just met because she has the connections to get me where I need to go. So you got dudes sitting up in the tree right here looking at her. She knows them. They're cool. And then they come across this boat. There's some pirates. She said, hey, they'll take us. She hands them a fat wad of money. I don't know how much money that was, but it was like a couple grand. So I don't know. Maybe that was you can see it in his hand, but maybe it's like some government money. But she gives him the money to get him on the boat. And you can see there in that picture, he does not trust him. He don't trust that dude. He don't trust nobody. But he has to trust her. But he definitely doesn't trust those dudes because obviously their loyalty lies with the money, not the courage and the honor and the camaraderie and the brotherhood that forged in the fire of war that he's used to. So this guy's a scumbag to him, but it's their only way to get there.
Wait, this guy a scumbag? Come on.
He looked like it. He was smoking cigarettes and shit. He was wearing like pants that weren't uniform, like some renegade shit.
His shirt is more grease than cloth.
It's like 48% sweat. Everybody's sweating their ass off in this movie. Yeah. Can't blame them because I'm sure they filmed this like in South America or something. Definitely hot.
I think she said they filmed this near Acapulco in a little interview.
So and it's you could tell there's everybody sweating, and so he's kind of looking out at the water and shit, and then they get to talking, and this is where they forge some kind of relationship because it's a long ride, and she's asking him something. He's like, well, it's a long story. She's like, well, it's a long ride. So he starts telling her, I'm from here, and I fought in the war, and then I came home, and she's asking him what that mean, because he's.
I do like her little.
That's
accent.
how she talks.
What that mean, Rambo?
Rambo, what that mean? And,
Rambo, why you take shirt off?
Rambo,
why you put shirt on, Rambo?
Rambo, what is bulge in front of pants? So she's asking him, questions that a foreigner, somebody not from America, would ask, like slang terms and shit like that. And he's explaining it to her, and but he has his knife, and he's kind of like whittling, like scraping different, little number letters or whatever in the table nervously as she's talking to him and asking him. And she says that she wants to go to America, and she's, you know, always talking about America, and they're
I
just
want go America. Get credit card. Get real fat. You know.
No, sadly, right?
me want to pull bait and switch on you, Rambo. You get this.
No.
You take this to America. I turn into my
I
600
want to
pound life.
divorce you in America. Take
Take half
I
stuff.
want to go to America and visit nice town in Northwest. Just get lunch. No problem. Here's the thing, baby. You're going to have to end up killing the town.
We have to kill the sheriff. We have to shoot the sheriff in the foot and drop him from the roof and burn half the town.
Hey, my knife's not the only dangerous weapon I'm packing, you know.
Hey.
So, speaking of divorce, you guys, this is an old one, but I love it. Have you heard of the new divorce Barbie toy?
No.
It comes with all of Ken's shit.
Rambo, you take me America, I get half shit, yes?
Whatever.
Hey, half of nothing is nothing.
We marry, have kids. I take them from you in middle of night.
I'm so fucked.
I have restraining order. Authorities take your weapons from you. I lie about you being violent.
Authorities take weapon. Have new boyfriend answer door when you come to drop off kids. You pay, live in house with new man. Pay alimony. You.
I make up lies that you were violent. You get
when I'm done,
order.
I take that knife.
Yeah. I slam arm in closet door. Have you in jail.
I tell kids you gay. You not pay child support.
I badmouth you in front of kid every day. New boyfriend.
Oh my God.
New boyfriend give hickey at breakfast table. What?
You pay for me and boyfriend to go fancy dinner.
You pay for a new boyfriend rap studio.
Oh my God.
Oh shit.
You pay for a new boyfriend junior college.
Oh,
bitch.
Oh God.
Room for page 20. We are killing her. So
no, room we don't want to kill you.
You will
We
live.
need you. God bless you.
You will live.
But you fucking die on me.
Oh my God.
So anyway, yeah.
He just pulls his gun out and shoots her.
Oh goodness.
Boom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these two are they're back. They're back at the base, and they still don't know Rambo's alive though. They know he fell out the plane, and they haven't heard from him. Right? He hasn't made contact.
Yeah,
yet.
no contact. All they know is
Right.
they cut him loose, but he says, "Hey, he has 36 hours to complete the mission, so we'll just go on as planned. In 36 hours, we'll go there. If he's there, he's there. If he's not, hey, you know, we lost. He died doing what he loves. You know."
Right. Sorry, I love this concept.
Rambo, take me America. Life all fucked up.
Oh goodness.
Poor
It's
Rambo.
too funny. She's all like demure and submissive and traditional when they're in Vietnam, making breakfast, rubbing his feet, you know, and then she gets over here and watches a couple episodes of Oprah, and before you know it, he's eating a can of beans off the range top by himself in a fucking studio apartment.
Why the fuck? Hey, what the fuck?
You know,
How about you get it yourself?
You get up. You have legs. You have
what
two
wrong-
legs, right?
What wrong with your arms? Are they broken?
How about open eyes?
Call maid. She get.
Oh goodness. Oh.
Yeah, Rambo just got utterly cucked. It's tragic.
Hey.
Poor Stallone.
Yeah, so they're planning out their beautiful future divorce together on the back of the boat.
She
That's
is.
right.
He's like, fuck. You were just supposed to show me the way down the river.
Right. And then back at the base, they're like, well, we don't fucking know what happened to him, so we should all have sandwiches.
Yeah, real nonchalant
Fucking
attitude.
dudes.
Why does this guy, and I looked him up, they according to Wikipedia, the guy in the blue shirt and the green pants, this is the only movie he was ever in. I could be wrong. That's what it said online.
Hey, that's all you need.
He should have done more acting because I buy this guy as like maybe a CIA agent. or
Yeah,
some special operative.
definitely.
He has so much fucking swag. This guy, he's just like he seems like a real jerk. This
Dude,
guy.
the leather
But in a good
over the
way.
shoulder gun holster.
Right.
You gotta respect a guy like that.
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna be in a movie, hey, you didn't do too bad. If you're gonna be in one movie,
Question.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that Coca-Cola may have paid for any of this movie? I'm just curious.
They might have.
Zero Coca-Cola money in this.
A little Coca,
Yeah.
but yeah, and then
They were just doing him a favor. That's all.
Yeah.
Hey, Coca-Cola, I love the
Hey,
product.
there was a lot of Coke on set. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Yeah.
It wasn't all in the machine. You know what I mean? OPD.
It was snowing in that jungle. I tell you.
Everywhere. Yeah, great. But you could tell not only in the words that they're saying, like they're actually saying we don't give a shit, but look, feet up, sandwich, Coca-Colas, everybody's hanging out. Troutman's up, ready to go. Let's go get my boy. And they're like, oh, well, you know, that was never really the plan to begin with.
Yeah,
And he's
just like
slowly
zero respect. He's like talking with his mouth full. You know, he might be dead.
Yeah, he goes,
Gotta be honest, it's hot out there. Maybe fuck him.
I don't want this chicken sandwich to get warm, you know. So let me finish.
Oh, I hate these guys. Yeah.
Just
they're real
dicks, top to bottom.
Yep.
Yeah, you get that feeling that these guys are all bureaucracy. Like the soldiers, their lives, it's just numbers to them. They don't really care. And that's one of the themes. Again, the author of the first book, he did the novelization of this movie. He talked about the issues that he heard from veterans where they have that line, can we win this time? And hey, there's POWs over there. There's POWs. We know it. And how important that was to actual real life veterans. So it's nice to have these three, you know, Karate Kid, CIA, and then Sandwich Boy here. They represent that bureaucracy of like, these are just fleas. These people, they're peasants. They don't matter.
Yeah, that's messed up. I don't think there should be any American POWs anywhere around the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Get them back. Do what you have to do to get them home. Flex some, you know, economic muscle. You know, maybe drone
If only
some
we
people.
had the resources. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, if only we had the
people.
budget. If only we had a $700 billion budget. Or 850, I believe. So yeah, we got a couple dollars for defense. I say we, you know, squeeze some countries and make them give. I mean, maybe we do have them back. I hope we do. But as America, we should.
Wait,
not
can we
have
go back to that previous image?
We can't have anybody be held captive by other
actually,
countries.
2 up. Sorry, it was 2 up. You were at
This one?
1 more. 2 more up.
This one?
No,
Go
close
back.
up of her face. You were just
that
on it.
goes way back.
Oh, was that way back? No, it wasn't that one. Never mind. We'll keep going. Let's keep rolling.
Okay. Well, when you see
But-
it, scream. It's coming.
No, I'm going right there.
Okay, that was
Let
forward.
me tell you something, guys. Let me tell you something, okay? When they roll out actors these days and tell guys, I'm not gonna make it through this
I
stream.
just
Like
see the comments go by. And I'm like, what's
when I come back from like one of my many camera trips away and mutes, I'm just gonna have blood on my mouth hanging out. I'll be like Doc Holliday in fucking Tombstone by the end of this shit. I'll be like, I'm right as the mail and just fall through a table. But this is the thing about it, guys. Movie stars, faces. We used to cast for faces. Even as when you guys look at John Kreese, let's be clear, the roster of quote, you know, supporting actors in this are excellent. They're all excellent. One of my favorite actors and most endearing characters in this movie is the guy that John Rambo frees. They almost get away. They're betrayed. That dude is outstanding in his role. Everybody is great in this flick. But I want you to take a look at this face right here. That is a movie star face. And I know she had a career after this, but I wish she could have had an even bigger career. You know, because she's totally got this movie star look. I know she's still working. But it's just these are faces. That is a stop you dead in your tracks, beautiful human being right there.
Well,
and
Sean,
it's incredible.
Are you saying that if this had happened to you and you were on a special mission to Vietnam, that you would have taken this woman home and made her your wife in America so she could then divorce
She would
you?
probably own all my shit, including the knife.
Okay.
And I would be supporting. I would be supporting her and her man's band.
Oh.
They started.
Why
No,
you not
but
pay
let's-
child support? Daryl needs new amp for guitar.
Daryl need new amp. He have soul patch.
They'll have concert Friday. You need to pay child support.
He has patch of hair under his lip. Soul patch.
But you got to
give it-
understand this too,
Flavor saver.
because we're both, you know, Gabe and I are both artists. When I sit down and I go to paint, when I go to paint any figure, but when I paint female figures in particular, when you're painting faces, it's like trying to pin an angel to a piece of paper.
Sure.
Like to really capture somebody who is incredibly beautiful, like her, is like it's a nightmare because you can't, like, you've got the real thing, What are you gonna do? What are you bringing to the table? She's just got a fantastic face.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Women get away with murder with their beauty.
Absolutely right.
You see a woman and they're so beautiful, and you're like, I can't picture her cracking the bathroom door open, and going, "Hey, do you have a plunger?" Like you just can't. You can't.
Yeah.
Reconcile.
If she did, I'd
That's
be
not
like,
the life
all
she
right,
lives.
whatever you're into, baby. I don't. Oh, you mean?
Oh, that. Oh, yeah, I can do that.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that's not the life that they live.
That's
But yeah,
right.
she's gorgeous.
Right.
And-
So here we get. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry if you weren't.
No, go for it, man. Proceed.
Oh, we get a little foreshadowing. A
Mhm.
professional woman shows up on a little
Yeah.
moped to this the place where they're holding the POWs, and they're watching through the bushes. That's Rambo's shoulder, by the way.
If you couldn't
Yeah,
tell, that's my left deltoid. If you couldn't tell.
Hey, get a
And,
little closer.
yeah, they're watching through the bushes, and a prostitute shows up to make some money off of the Vietnamese communist soldiers that are here holding the Americans, and that
Yeah.
will be useful information later in this movie.
And she says
Yep.
she whore from town. That's what she said. She whore from town.
You heard it wrong. He said what she actually said was he whore from town.
Oh
See,
no!
underneath all that Jericho, these men were desperate. Rambo's like, I don't know. I mean, I might. It's like,
Yeah, think about it.
3 years splitting rocks. You try a lot of stuff.
Yeah, hey,
That's
you
right.
see him naked first. So these guys are like filling her up. They're like grabbing her tits and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
one guy
they're
gives her
being
one
real
big-
scumbags.
Yeah.
Further letting you know that all of these guys, everybody wearing this uniform, is a low down piece of shit. Look at
Yeah.
them. They're fond
Yeah.
of women. They're gross. All of them. They all deserve to die. And also she's with him. She didn't like get him to the river and I'll see you when you come back. She is shoulder to shoulder with him,
I see you in
surveilling.
court. No.
This I go with you all the way. This good for court case. I call lawyer, have commercial.
I tell them how you grab my arm like that.
Right.
Yeah. I show him bruise. I have brother grab my shoulder, show the lawyer bruise.
Yeah, and I have to be honest. All these jokes are an attempt to take the steam out of what's coming because it's like
Right.
some of the
Yeah.
most heartbreaking shit in the world.
But she's shoulder to shoulder with him, actually doing the
Yeah.
mission with
Yeah.
him. So she's building on that trust. She's building the camaraderie between them. She's showing him, hey, I'm here with you. I'm not going to leave you. You can trust me too. They're war
Mhm.
buddies.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the hooker shows up at the POW camp to
The
service the jail
The whole
guards. I
camp.
guess. Yeah, I guess.
She
Busy
is.
gal. Busy gal. So,
She
Yeah.
big whore from town.
I
Spinning
guess the
around
less,
plates.
the less said about that, the better.
And so she tells him, he sees the POWs and she tells him, that's not what we're here for. We got to stick to the mission. He's like, screw that. I got to go get, I got a chance to get one of my boys. So he's,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, he has a mission. And yes, he's a soldier, but man, those are his comrades.
Right.
He
So,
knows,
yeah.
he knows what they've been through. He knows what they're going through right now. So
Yeah, man.
he can't let them just stay there, even
Right,
though
because-
Troutman's going to lead the team.
In the first movie, we get those flashbacks where Stallone is tied up and being sliced and being tortured. So he knows the POW camp. And, if this is 1985, these guys may have been here near a decade.
Yeah.
So, of course, he, it's like, oh, you just supposed to take pictures. He's like, no. I'm going to get these dudes out of here. Like, hell no. Fuck the.
And
fuck
we've
people
talked
that
about
do
my
this.
rats thing here. Well, seeing human beings with rats crawling on them, man. You're not gonna walk away from that shit if you've got
That's
a soul
terrible.
left.
That's the
Right.
Yeah,
ultimate
you can't be
neglect.
doing that shit.
So we get a real fun action movie trope here of infiltrating
Yeah,
the enemy base, like
Love
ducking
it.
behind things. And oh my gosh, as a kid, I was 5 years old. I went to Hawaii where my cousins Tim and John lived. And these are the ones that always let me see the movies I wasn't allowed to see. I would see them at Aunt Martha's house. And Tim and John were older. Tim is 6 years older than me. John is 2 years older than me. Anyway, and my brother. So there's 4 cousins, 4 boys. And we play a game outside just like this called Army Buds. And it would be me and Tim and then John and Abe. And we'd start at different ends of the property and like try and sneak up on each other through the bushes and everything like that. It was all that rolling and flipping. So when you're young and watching stuff like this, oh man, it's so much fun.
Your imagination.
Yeah.
It's the best in the world, man. This was it. This is the classic sneaking up and taking these guys out silently. 'Cause
Right.
you can't shoot a gun because that's going to alert the whole camp. And you're about the stealth. nature of it, and the classic, with the arrow or stabbing him with the knife or
Right, or breaking the
Seagal.
neck and then slowly putting them down.
Oh man,
but it's unintentionally funny here because as he's infiltrating, these huts are off the ground. I think for flooding, for the torrential rain, the huts are off the ground, but they're just bamboo, so there's spaces in the floorboards. And the captain or whatever, the leader of this prison, the Vietnamese soldier, he's getting amorous with this professional woman. And
George Chung.
Stallone is like peeping in there, and I don't have a shot of it, but he's under the floorboards looking up at them at one point.
Yeah, you can see the light.
You just see this eye through two slits of wood looking at people.
Yeah.
While
I'm here, might as well rub one out.
Hey, don't mind me. I'm just enjoying the view.
Hey, I'm just double jacking down here. So, but he keeps his composure. He doesn't take his opportunity to double jack, and he goes and he finds the cage, one of the cages, full of American POWs. And again, the more you think about it, this is so messed up that a decade later, we just have our soldiers just out there in another country being tortured and malnourished and worked to death. That's just unthinkable. But it happened, I guess.
Yeah.
But he finds them and he tries to release or free some of the POWs, and they're all emaciated, real sickly, and like that guy right there, underweight.
This guy was tied to a bamboo axe.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. And he was being tortured, basically. And so he cuts him down and gets him out of there. Because what's he gonna do? Put him in the cage, I'll come back for you. So he cuts him down and they get the hell up out of there. And they so they start, there's three guys that get it. They all get it with the arrows. One guy gets it, he's up in a tower. This guy gets it through the head, another guy gets it through the chest. But you come to know that Rambo's real good with the bow and arrow throughout this movie. And again, it has to be silent. No loud noises. Has to be real silent. You can see the sweat on his hat. This is real hot where they're doing this at. It's real jungle. And so they make their escape. And so the guys, one of them's like coming to take a piss, something like that. The classic, or smoking. And he takes them out. And they get to running. And then the next day, let's see. I think maybe a couple away.
Right. And during the gear up scene, thank you, John Platt, for reminding me. Rambo's fold-away compound bow is just as cool and deadly as his combat survival knife, especially the explosive arrowheads.
Oh, we're getting to those.
Gearing up, he was getting his guns and he was getting his knife, tying his boots, but you saw a little case and it said in red on the front, explosive. And there were a couple bigger, like brass, copper-colored arrowheads in there. So obviously they have some sort of explosive ability. I don't know how that works. You were in the military, Jericho. I don't imagine that would be hard to make, but is that real? An exploding arrowhead? Is that a real thing?
I've never seen it before or since this movie. I don't see a use for it because if you're going to have an explosive tip, the stealth element is gone.
Right.
So you might as well plant an explosive or use something that shoots a rocket or something. But hey, it was fucking great in this movie. I'll tell you that much.
Right.
And
if I can go ahead and push back on that, I've seen this movie numerous times, so I'm going to put aside your military experience just to say that I believe they're real based on multiple VHS viewings of this film.
At least 50 times.
Right.
This
that's right.
But
I didn't want this to come up. Okay, I didn't. I was trying to avoid this. Matthew Quinlan, you're pushing the issue.
Damn it.
But I'm gonna mention it later. Get Stallone for me, Jericho, because I feel like you ripped me off a little bit in Predator with a couple things in this movie. First of all, the exploding arrows. So, I think you should just come clean and tell everyone why you had to copy me on that. Why couldn't you come up with your own ideas to kill that Predator?
Yeah. If you think about it, I did take a couple of things, didn't I? I did that there. Oh well, I did it better.
I did it first. It's a sad imitation of what Rambo can do in the jungle.
But sometimes it's like
team.
It's like the Chinese invented pasta, but the Italians perfected it. Like you did that there in your little thing, explosives in the red letters. But I made mine from like bullets. I took apart and I took wood and I bound it together. I used my muscles to make it do that. And the people I was fighting, the person that I was fighting, the thing that I was fighting wasn't even from here.
Well, I know
he was from out there.
I took on a whole squad by myself, and you had a whole squad get killed by one alien. So I feel like I'm the superior jungle fighter.
I think while I'm taking the shit, I take out entire squads. It's nothing to me. Matter of fact, I'm shitting right now.
All right, well, we'll get back to it too, because there was a part where you covered yourself in mud in Predator, and I feel like you stole that from my film here. We'll get to that though.
We will probably still be shitting.
So anyway, let's see. They've killed the guys. They've got the one guy. They got to make a run for it now. Stallone and Co. and the POW. I never caught the POW's name, but they're going to make a run for it and get picked up, right?
Yeah, and he tells her, hey, this is where we part ways. You go ahead and go. We're going to excuse me. We're going to rally at the extraction point. And thanks a lot, girlfriend. And, gives a little smack on the butt. Hey, toots. And he gets to running. And then, the Viet Cong, by now, they've woken up. They found the dead bodies. They sounded the alarm. They're all flooding the jungle, following their tracks. You can see, like, that moss that's on top of the water. They've disturbed it. When the soldiers come by, you can see where they've disturbed it, which direction they're going. So they're on their ass. So he tells, all right, you get out of here. Yeah, right here. And they're going to the extraction point. And I mean, they're running across those rice fields. And there's the bow and arrow right there. And you see him, there's a scene where he's taking it apart or he's extending it. And then he has the tool to tighten it and shit. And I mean, really, those arrows and that knife is all he needs. But they're going and they get to the river. And they're on the boat. And they're about to get on, the boat's going to take them back up river. And then that's when they part ways. But you got to be careful when you're dealing with pirates.
Right. So, the Vietnamese soldiers are right behind them. And they are making an escape. And you get a fun scene. It's always fun to have like shootouts or chases in vehicles, motorcycles, even boats. And you get a scene here where they're going to get attacked by a Vietnamese boat. And, man, they get shredded to pieces. But one thing that happens here is they get betrayed. This guy that we call him a scumbag at first, the guy in the red beret, him and his guys, they pull their weapons on the POW and Rambo and Co. And Rambo starts to make short work of some of these guys.
Yeah,
and
he takes
what I think in all the Rambo movies, all 5 of them, one of Rambo's best kills is the guys like on top of the thing above their heads there. There's a guy on top of it that tries to get Rambo, and he stabs the guy through whatever that rack is, right through his chest. It's a pretty right.
Yeah, he's like in a loft or something up there, and he grabs him with a rope. He grabs him around his neck when he's trying to leave, and he pulls a survival knife, which has to be like 10 inches long, the blade on it, and just sticks it through the bamboo woven whatever that shit was he was laying on, and the blood comes running down. That shit was that was real cool. And here, I guess they use squibs for shit like this to make it look like that, because he's basically. On the shore, the Vietnamese soldier was calling in this boat, and it just starts. It has like double machine guns, double 25 millimeters, just shredding this boat. He makes them jump off the boat so they can swim to safety, and he's laying on the floor. And that's when you got all the shit flying, the wood chips and shit flying everywhere. And they had an RPG that they showed you earlier, in like this chest or whatever. So he opens it up, takes out the RPG, and I've held an RPG before. Those things are very heavy. They're extremely front heavy.
Oh.
Yeah, RPG, when you put the projectile in there, man, that thing's got to weigh 20, 30 pounds. Like, it's very heavy. And I guess to help you keep it down so you can aim. But, dude, those things are heavy as shit. But he takes the RPG out and blows that boat up. But then it's not over yet, because this flaming behemoth is now headed on a collision course with their boat.
Right. Yeah. Oh, so this was the guy. He gets through the stomach with the knife here. Yeah, that guy jumps out afterwards. And she's telling Rambo he's got to get off because the other boat is coming. It's a burning wreck.
Even the POW is telling him, jump. Yeah. But in that scene with the guy who's choking him, it's the classic, they keep cutting to the boat. It's getting closer to his boat. It's getting closer. The guy's choking him. And he's like, and he turns around enough to barely
unclip the knife, and he pulls out and just stabs that dude. And then he
Right.
barely makes it in time and jumps off the boat right when they collide. And then for a second, oh, Rambo, he's dead. And then comes out of the water.
I never
Don't be
take you to
stupid.
cleaners. I never take you to American
I never
Lawyer
take
and
half
all
your
this.
shit. POW, okay? Take half your shit. I don't have nothing.
But yeah, swims to shore, gets out.
Oh, wait.
ahead.
We missed the part, or maybe you guys covered it when I was coughing my brains out laughing at the insanity. But the part where he says POW asks him, what year is it? Remember that?
Yeah, he tells him
1985.
1985, yeah.
And he's just got this like far away look, like, good God.
Shit, I've been there that long.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
rough,
it kind of hit him with a ton of bricks on that one.
Yeah, man.
That's
Beautiful
pretty
stuff,
deep.
though. Great writing.
Oh goodness, what could he tell him about 1985?
That the Bears got a really good defense this year. I think they could go all the way.
That was 1985, right?
And there's this kid, Michael J. Fox, made these movies about going back in time, but they're going like forward or something too. Hey, do you like Coke? Yeah, I said that.
Just
not
word
anymore.
of the wise, stay
Not
out of the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah. Hey, you remember that actor, Ronald Reagan? Well, he's like president now. He's like, what? He's an actor. Yeah, man. A lot of wild shit in 1985.
Let's see. Oh yeah. So they get away, but they're not fully away, and the helicopter's coming in with Mr. Swagger, CIA spook or whatever he is.
Yes, and they find out. They hear him. They find out that he's alive because they're flying in and they see him. They're like, oh shit, and he has somebody. So you're like, man. And the Vietnamese army's bearing down on their ass. They're shooting mortars. They're running across his rice field. They're shooting mortars at him. They're shooting AK-47s at him, and they're going up this hill, and it's mud. It's like that thick clay like mud that you pull your foot up and it sucks your shoe in, and now you're stepping in mud with your clean white socks. Like it's that kind of mud, and he's running up there, and he has the guy's hand, the POW, where he's putting his hand, he's holding the POW's hand, like he's pulling this man with him. I'm going to get you out of here, man. I don't care if I lift you on the helicopter and get shot in the back and die. I'm going to get you out of here, man. And they're hustling, and he's turning back and he's shooting, and he's putting the machine gun in the mud with his other hand, and they're making it to the top of this hill where they're going to get picked up by the helicopter. The guy is up there. He's door gunning. He's shooting the Viet Cong. They're going to come and get you. You got Cobra Kai as a pilot.
And Troutman's in there too. Troutman's
in there too. Troutman came for the pickup. I told you I was going to be here, Johnny. I'm going to get you on this chopper. We're going to get you out of here. You're going to make it home. We're going to come back. We're going to use your information and proof that you got us. We're going to get a team together. And we're going to go back and we're going to save those damn POWs. And he asked him, how long have you guys been here? He's like, well, it's the first time I've ever been in this camp. We only been here for a week. They move us around for farming. So they're using these guys as slave labor, as well as beating them, malnourishing them, all that shit. We're going to get you guys out of here, man. And they're about to land. He's hovering over him. Come on. Hey, down here. Come on. And Dickhead Murdoch comes over the radio and says, abort the mission. What did he say? He said, we got to abort the mission. We got to go home without a pickup. And he goes, bullshit, put this damn bird down. And there was a moment where he almost talked Cobra Kai into it.
Right.
But then you got Dickhead McGee over there with the leather shoulder holster with his SIG, and he puts it in Troutman's face and tells him, don't be a hero. And that's it.
I feel like they're real like fast and loose with some of the rules here in the military.
But they're not military.
Right. They're CIA.
They're the murky, cloudy CIA, whatever, black ops shit. And he sticks a gun in Troutman's face and says, shut your ass up. And they hover over Rambo and the POW, and then they leave him. He's like, come on, what are you doing? No. And they pull away and leave him. They leave him with the enemy. So what do you think they're going to do? And I asked my son, I said, what do you think they're going to do with Rambo and the POW? And he's like, they're going to be mean. Yeah. That's real mean.
Putting it lightly. Now, Jericho's Arnold there. I want to ask him a question.
Yeah, he's here, man. I'll get him. No problem.
So, Arnold, you're kind of famous for saying, get to the chopper. What do you think about Stallone trying to get to the chopper and failing like this? I mean, do you laugh at him or do you feel sorry for him when someone doesn't get to the chopper? Because you tell everyone to get to the chopper.
Yeah,
and then Stallone doesn't get there. How does that make you feel?
Well, I really hate it when people can't get there. But I always laugh at him. Me and my frumpy dumpy housekeeper. I'm sitting there. She's feeding me snacks in bed. And we pull up his movies and we laugh at him. It's like if your son comes in the bedroom, he's like, Daddy, look at me. And he's wearing your clothes and they're hanging off him all loose. And you're like, it's so cute because you're trying to be me. It's okay. Sylvester, it's okay. I accept you. No judgment here.
All right. Okay. I'm glad that you're accepting of him and the shortcoming he had of not being able to get to the chopper.
Yeah. And I made it clear. Get to the chopper.
Yeah.
Come on.
Hold on. What?
They won't do it.
Stallone here. I had a question for you. So, it was really embarrassing for me when I didn't get to the chopper. If I'm in this situation again, and since you're a chopper expert, what would you recommend a guy like me do so I always get to the chopper next time?
I'd work on your calisthenics, maybe build up your calf muscles or something there. But you're kind of tiny. You're a little short. You're like 5'6" or something there. So maybe stretch your bones or something like that. So they don't undertell you. Hang out with Muggsy Bogues or something like that. Someone tiny who could jump real high. Yeah.
Well,
Muggsy was amazing, by the way.
Really hard for me to ask you a question like that in front of everyone, but I thank you for not humiliating me.
Yeah, no problems. Hey, thank you for tucking your penis and asking me something like that in front of everybody. I would never.
So anyway, he didn't.
Oh my God.
He didn't.
He didn't make. Well, the chopper didn't get to him. How about that?
Fucking
come to the
guys.
He was there where the chopper was supposed to be.
This is some tragic, awful shit right here. Like,
Man.
this is you're like I've seen this movie since I was a kid. Watched it God knows how many times. Had it on VHS. Played that thing till the wheels fell off. We're talking double jacking.
Oh.
And when I'm watching this movie and I get the scene every single time, it's not like I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm just like, fuck you so much, man.
Do you have like a subconscious fantasy that you watch it and this doesn't happen one time?
Yeah,
they get to the chopper. Okay, awesome.
But this has to happen. This has to happen.
To yourself, here's the thing, man. Let's put aside how many times we've only known Rambo a short while. He's been betrayed a shitload in every instance. But this dude who just learned it's 1985, who had his first glimmer of hope in I don't know how many years, and they fucking fly away. Dude. It's the shittiest thing ever. I was like, fuck no.
His mind was thinking about McDonald's and all this shit. He was about to eat, take a bath, stay in a hotel, maybe get with a woman, and it's
going to that divorce court with Co, that American-style divorce court.
Find out about this coke he keeps talking about and why he keeps sniffing. And nope, not quite, buddy. And it pans out, and you see the Vietnamese army converging on their location.
Oh, it's a great shot.
On the hill.
It's a great shot. So and I don't have a shot of it, but the helicopter looks like it's 10 feet from their grasp. It gets so close.
They're hovering right above him.
Yeah, right above him.
And it was almost like, here, take the POW, leave me, but take somebody.
Oh.
And they said no. And he says it. We have to abort the mission without pickup. Like, don't bring, because if you bring back proof that they're POWs, and the American public is going to start demanding that you go pick them up, and it's going to step all over their geopolitical bullshit that they're dealing in. So even at the cost of their lives, this shit needs to stay quiet.
Right. And this shot here is terrible. It's a great design shot where you have the Viet Cong coming up through the rice paddy, and they're just basically surrounded. And Rambo and the POW are so small at the top of this little hill.
Yeah.
It gives such a great claustrophobic feeling. You see right here, I'm wiggling right there where I put that little box.
Yeah.
They're tiny up there, And you got these guys just coming up, and they get captured. It's awful. So
they're just outgunned. It's just there's just too many of them.
And the disappointment on his face, like, damn it, my country did me dirty again. Like the acting is great, and not just the words. Like that face, that expression he's exhausted. Like, you did. I got to start the marathon again. I just finished. I got to do it again, and he will. I mean, he's it sucks, but it seems you can tell at a point he's just going to be like, this is what it is. This is what I got to suffer through. Let's do it.
And she's seeing all of this from a distance, and thank God she's had time to reapply her makeup and do something with her hair. I mean, that's the kind of gal who, let's be clear, once she hits the stage, she's gonna clean out your account. Like that shit's over. But
and it's fine.
While you're here, wonderful.
You never see it coming. I Tiger Lady. You never see it coming.
Look at my face. I would never. Dude, but she's like, if I'm gonna be sitting here in this jungle, I'm gonna do it looking hot and with a smoldering, smoky look. You can't blame her. You can't fault her for that.
Right.
So Troutman, he comes back and chews out Murdoch, and Murdoch's explaining, hey, this was just for looks. We just wanted to, basically these pictures were going to go nowhere. We just needed your boy to carry this out for us so we can, satiate some people. And he's like, these are real people. What the fuck, man? And he's like, hey, I'm in charge. Watch your mouth. He's like, why don't you go, take a breather or something? And he goes, you bastard. And then he
this
says,
is the only way I could find a way for you to realize what a total bag of shit I am as a human being. Is to bring you that close to saving our boys and realize I don't give a fuck. Like, this guy is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, hey, we'll get you out of there. LOL JK,
Oh.
Yeah. Gotcha. You got punked. Ashton, come out. Worst punking ever. Yeah, and he basically tells him, hey, shut up. I'm in charge. And then he tells him, hey, put him under arrest. He can't leave the base. He shuts Troutman down.
Oh, goodness. So the next shot you get, he's been captured, but I don't have a shot of it because this is right after. They show some pigs. And they pooping and peeing and everything. And there's a drainage from these pigs, their pen or whatever. And it drains down to this pit here. So Rambo is in a literal pit of pig shit with leeches.
And piss. In the hot sun. That piss has been there for weeks. So it's all fermented and rotted and disgusting. I used to raise pigs.
From 50 feet away, the stench would make you retch. Let alone up to your nipples in it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but Stallone, he's chilling, man. He's doing his circular breathing. He's fine, man. He's gone to his happy place in his mind where he can. He's in his mind. He's at a diner with his homeboy who died of cancer last summer, and they're having a good old time talking about the days of
Nothing much. That ain't bouillabaisse.
It's not, guys. I wish. Can we create a vat that big, a pit full of bouillabaisse? Yes, we can. But that's pig shit and piss and leeches. Yeah,
Aruba's face says pigs are absolutely the nastiest animals, and to be in their shit. You said you raised pigs for a while, Jericho?
Yeah, as a kid, we had hogs my whole life. We had like 10 and a half acres. But they're not. Pigs are as filthy as you allow them to be.
Right.
If you give them a clean pen and clean surroundings, that's what they'll be, especially when they have babies. But if you give them like a bunch of mud and stuff, yeah, that's what they'll be.
Why are these pigs filthy? Then you have them living in mud.
I'm just telling you right now, Jericho's pigs, I'm gonna believe this forever, had monocles. They were totally organized. They're like, I say, sir, it's a bit filthy in this sty.
The slop was delectable this morning. What did you put in it?
It was absolutely delicious. One of my favorite slops of the year.
I hope there's more for lunch.
But of course, there's a 55-gallon drum of that nectar.
Delicious. I do agree with Coach Johnson. I don't like pork. I'll eat bacon. Bacon doesn't count. Bacon's delicious. Not a pork guy, though.
Bacon
tenderloins, rib roast, pulled pork sandwiches. Not a fan of pork.
I'm not a big fan of pulled pork, but like I was telling you earlier,
a fan of pulling the pork,
Hey, I don't eat it, but I'll pull it. Oh. I'm not a big fan of pulled pork. It's just too soft. But some ribs, a good chop. And like I was telling you earlier, schnitzel. Chop. My dad used to make a mean schnitzel. He learned the recipe from some old German lady. I'll get down on some of that. It's not a mainstay in my diet, but I turn down
A good bit of swine, of course not, my good man.
If it bleeds, we can eat it.
Right.
Kill it and then eat it.
So schnitzel was what your dad was a gourmet chef. Mine is too. That was your dad's, the thing he made that was your favorite. My dad's thing that he made that's my favorite is oxtail stew.
Oh man,
wow.
Come on. God. The collagen from that tail. It's pork it's beef roast on a bone.
Right.
Is what
and
it is.
And the way he does it is your typical, it's a tomato broth with the carrot, celery, onions, and potatoes.
Killing me, man.
Serve this, and it's got that layer of grease and collagen on top. You feel like you put on chapstick when you eat this stuff. It's so greasy. And you put it over couscous. That's that Arabic pasta. It's like little grains of sand. I could eat like 4 bowls of that. It's ridiculous, dude. It's so good.
My mom would make oxtails growing up, every once in a while.
Yeah.
But it was more of like a stew, like a thick stew, almost like a gravy.
Yeah.
And then you have that with rice.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
So damn good.
Yeah.
I'll take that right before they pull the switch on me. For sure.
Yeah, I only had lunch today, guys. So we are going to talk about food. Even though we're looking at pig shit, I don't care. I'm that hungry.
As long as if I can eat that dish next to the pig shit, I wouldn't have a problem.
Hey, I was happy as a pig in shit, which turns out ain't that happy. So,
man, I hope he was like, hey, I bet he was like, you guys, we better get this in one take, okay? I don't want to be hanging out in this pig shit and piss for too long.
It's got all.
I want people to be reviewing.
What is it? What's
from now?
What is
and
that?
Going, do you know this was actually the start of Jericho Green's $1 billion bouillabaisse empire? The start of that joke. It's just gonna happen, man.
My goal is
it's gonna be on the back of the, on the back of the bottle or the back of the can. They'll have that little flavor text. Like, it all started as a joke, but we ended up making the most delicious bouillabaisse for family meals.
Yeah, and I want to be number 1 in Italy.
Right.
That's right.
The number 1 bouillabaisse in Italy. That's my goal.
I want it to be clinical strength. I need a prescription for this bouillabaisse. Like, I want it to be.
Yeah, it's going to be behind the glass case at the grocery store.
Right.
Yeah, you got to ask the manager to get it for you,
You got to be 18.
That's right.
You got to show your ID to get this bouillabaisse.
You got to, when you drive home with it, you got to lock it in the trunk. You can't have it in the seat next to you.
That's right.
Because crazy shit's going to happen, and you know it. You know it.
Oh, and None the Miser's already helping with the marketing. They only sell them 50-gallon drums.
Hey,
where do you want me to put these? In the back of the truck, or what are we doing here?
Of course.
Yeah,
man, wheel it in there. Put like one of those pumps on it, like it's like oil or something in or gas in a barrel. Put a little pump on top so you can get in there, and it goes all the way to the bottom too. You won't leave no bouillabaisse.
Oh, that's right.
In the bottom, we'll have trademark containers, so you get every drop of the base.
That's right. Good to the last drop.
Hey.
Amen.
So anyway, they're not being nice. Your son, Jericho, very prescient. He was very, very wise when he very astute said, I think they're going to be mean to him.
Very mean.
That's right.
They're going to make fun of his favorite college football team to his face.
They're going to tease him. They're going to call him a stupid head.
Right. Colorado State Rams. Oh, what a bunch of losers.
Oh, hey, come on, kid.
And
hey, they're one quarterback away, man.
And the thing that pisses me off the most about this is if you weren't mad enough at the bad guys they've put together to be total douchebags.
Oh, you bastards.
They bring in Victor Maitland.
Wait.
Hills Cop.
Wait. Go back one, Gabe. That little sniveling shit on the right his real name's George Chung. His name was Tay in this movie. He has a little shit name, Tay.
Right.
But they keep reinforcing how much of a he's like, but he's a different kind of, he's like the does something horrible and runs away.
He's like a little bitch.
He's definitely a little bitch. And then, like Sean said, they bring in the villain of one of the best villains of the 80s. He was a bad guy in Beverly Hills Cop, Victor Maitland. And in this one, he's, Colonel, something Lovsky, but he's head of the Russians. So not only, another thing I love about the 80s, they have all our real world enemies in these movies. So we just got done with the Vietnamese. Now we're bringing in the Russians. 85. This is like, Cold War is going on big time right now. So Russians, terrible. And here they come off their helicopter. And he has his henchman right there, his big old muscle-bound henchman. and he's coming in here to this camp, and you could tell that they're in charge. You know, the Vietnamese soldiers are, you know, they clearly work for them. They got the big guns and shit. And look, sweat stains all over. People are dying out there. And so he's coming in.
Just smelled like BO so bad, man.
Oh, yeah, he's the dude from Lionheart, man. You know, he's one of the guys who from the Foreign Legion who tries to bring Van Damme back.
Right.
Lionheart is the big muscle.
That's right.
Shit, yeah.
And he has Rambo's knife. So not only you got me in this hole with the pig waste, but you're touching my girl. You got me in this pit, and you might as well have my girl sitting on your lap, and you're feeling her up right now.
Wow,
that's the same level of disrespect.
Tay was also the guy who was with the prostitute when Rambo was looking through the floor.
Looking through the floor, so you know Rambo, he's packing heat.
I know a lot about this guy, a lot of personal stuff about this guy. You know,
he got a lap hog. So you see this guy packing heat. So damn sure don't want you to. You better not be touching my girl.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he has his knife, and I think he would take that as you're handling his weapon. That's a sign of disrespect. So the POWs are almost looking like they know what's up. They know what happens when the Russians show up. Somebody's going to be screaming in that hut, and tonight will be no different. And he comes over, and he's playing. It's almost good cop, bad cop. Hey, these guys they treat you this way, the leeches, and all this stuff. And he comes over, and I wonder if they're real leeches because when they take them off, you see the spot of blood, and it like runs down. But I figure leeches aren't bad. Like they're not going to hurt you. There might have been real leeches. I never looked it up, but when he takes his knife. He takes his knife and takes them off, and you can see the blood where they're little.
Pretty sure you can't cut a leech off, though. You know, like because otherwise that shit gets in your bloodstream. Like one of the jobs that was actually a thing in the 18th century, which blows my mind, is for medical practices, women collecting leeches. And how they did that is they waded into the water, but you couldn't remove the leech until it was done. So they just got covered in leeches and waited till they were done, fell off. And that's how they collected them. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't be cutting leeches off. It's
that's horrific.
In Southeast Asia, we call this type of thing bad karma, as you said.
And you don't got that pig waste in that open wound. That's going to be a problem.
It ain't good.
That humidity, that's going to be an issue. But the Russians come in; they're the good cops. Look at these savages, these little savage Vietnamese soldiers. The way they're treating you, I'll come in with some civility. And he takes them inside. He cleans them up, takes them inside. Still has his hands bound behind him. And some of the coolest lines in the movie are spoken in the scenes with the Russians. Yeah. So he has him in there, and he's telling him, what I want you to do is I want you to call your base on the radio, tell them you were caught, and tell them not to try to send anybody in here for any reason in the future. Then he won't do it, and he tells him, okay, I'll read to you the transcript between the helicopter pilot who's supposed to get your ass and the home base. And he tells him, he's like, Wolf Den to Raven. He's like, oh, real cute names. Because, we got these code names and shit. He's like, oh, real cute, stupid Americans. And so, and that has to hurt. You can see that garrote. It's like right across that big ass Adam's apple of his. So that must have been comfortable. But he tells him he wants me to do that. And he reads him the transcript, and it's basically saying, abort the mission. Leave him there. We have to leave without picking him up. So he finds out. I mean, not like he didn't know that because they fucking left him right in his face. But he now has definitive proof that Murdoch ordered them to leave him there. So now he could put a name to the terrible act, the abandonment. And so he tells him, he's like, so you are going to, he's like, basically, why are you risking your life for people that don't even care about you? They left you here. Like I just read it to you. He puts it in his face like, look, read it. They left you here. They abandoned you with us, the enemy. And so he tells it, and so are you going to do it? And Rambo goes, fuck you. And he goes, okay, good. He's like, so you want to test your strength? Good. It's like, oh shit. So the next scene, the guy in the background, that's where he tells him, fuck you. And so the guy in the background, the big muscle bound guy, next scene, Rambo is on this, looks like a mattress frame, like a wire mattress frame. Right. And it has some electricity hooked up to it. And they're turning the dial, and he's just screaming and shit. And you can see his hands, his fingers getting all twisted up because electricity just making his muscles spasm. And he did great acting on that part too.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he's yelling. You see the lights dimming and shit. The soldiers are looking because the lights keep getting dimmed and shit because he's sucking up all the electricity just coursing through his body. And the colonel, whatever, tells him, he's like, go ahead and scream. There's no shame in it.
There's no shame in screaming. Go ahead. And he looks at the guy and he, gives him the signal. He turns it up and he's just fucking torturing him the whole time. And then, yeah.
It reminded me of the scene from Showdown in Little Tokyo.
Yeah.
Oh, but this was so much worse.
Because it had a real similar look to it. We'll get to in a second.
Yeah.
But I think there's a tiny little thing that happens right before the electrocution is our girl Ko. Remember earlier we saw the prostitute come into the village. Well, Ko pretends to be a prostitute and comes in. It's a good way to sneak into the village. Like, oh, they sent a different girl this week or whatever. And the guys are always handsy with them too when they come in. I don't know. It's like,
they're scumbags. That's when the guy. Can you wait till I get my clothes off? Right, but that's the soldier. He's looking up at the light and it's dim because of all the electricity that they're electrocuting Rambo with. And so she sneaks in and she's going to try to rescue him.
Right.
And he tells him, so they bring in the POW that he had rescued. And he says, well, since your life doesn't mean anything to you, maybe his does. And so they bring him in, and this is her. She comes out of this room. You hear some commotion, and she comes out of the room, and that Vietnamese soldier's laying there with blood coming out of his head. So she's badass. She took a knife or whatever, stuck his ass quietly, because again, we're back to sneaking through the camp. And she quietly took his ass out, and she comes out with the Uzi, another big time 80s gun, the Uzi with a big old silencer on it. The silencer, or the suppressor, I should say, is almost as big as the damn gun itself. She puts that bad boy on there, and now she's moving through the camp trying to find Stallone, and they're still barbecuing him, but they bring in the POW and they threaten, hey, we're going to torture this fool if you don't make the call. So in the beginning, the colonel, he puts his survival knife, he takes it, and he's looking at it while he's talking to him, and he puts it in these coals. So now the tip of the knife is glowing orange. It's hot as shit. It's about to melt. And he takes it out, and I can't remember the guy's name, was Henchman, but he says, after they bring his buddy in, he says, he has a souvenir for you. And he brings the knife over to him, and he drags it down his cheek and just burns him. It just puts a scar on him. And he takes it pretty well. Because he has a bunch of scars all over him, so this ain't new. So he burns a scar on his face, still nothing. So he has him, and the Tay, the little shit Vietnamese officer, he has a garrote which is basically a piece of wire with two wooden handles at the end so you don't cut your hands. And people get choked to death with him and stuff. You can, cut somebody's throat with it. So yeah, that's where he's burning his face. And I wonder how they did the special effect with the smoke coming off of it. Because when he's dragging it down his face, you see smoke coming off of it. Very realistic. And you can see where it leaves a scar on him instantly, where it burned him. And so he tells him, stick it in his eye. He tells his henchman to go take that hot knife and stick it in that POW's eye to get Rambo to make the call. And so he's about to, and then Rambo nods yes that he'll make the call. And so that's when they take him down, tie him or put him in the chair, and he tells him what to say on the radio call. And then comes another one of the coolest lines of the movie. I'd say definitely the coolest line of the movie. Yeah. He tells him to make the call, and he picks it up, and he says, was it lone wolf to wolf den, come in, lone wolf to wolf den, come in. And back of the base, it's John, it's Rambo, he's still alive. And the guys in the room are kind of excited because now he's in a room with a bunch of other soldiers. It's not just him in the three.
Working all those giant computers.
Yeah, those cutting edge, top of the line computers.
Speak and spell.
Yeah, I think one of them said danger, danger.
Right, it's a Commodore 64 or something like that.
So he Troutman gets on the radio. Wolfed in a lone wolf. Wolfed in a lone wolf. Johnny, where are you? We'll come get you. Like, what do you mean you'll come get me? That's how we got in this damn situation in the first place. You left my ass. But now he's like, we'll come get you. And he says, is Murdoch there? And he's like, yeah. And he hands it over to Murdoch.
He's like, it's for you.
Yeah, he has his hand over it. It's Rambo.
And
Rambo
he sounds really pissed.
Murdoch's like, tell him I'm not here. Tell him I'm not here.
Tell him I'm in the shower.
He knows you're here. There's no shower in here. He knows.
He heard you.
So he tells him, he gives it to Murdoch, and Murdoch's like, hey, Rambo, hey, buddy, what's up? Yeah, where are you? We'll come get you, man. What's going on? Where you been? And and for the last minute or so, it's been thunder and lightning outside. And all that shit.
and then he goes, Murdoch, and he grips the microphone. Does a close up on his hand, and he grips the microphone that he's talking into, and he leans into it. He goes, I'm coming to get you. And then he takes the mic, boom, he hits the henchman, throws his ass up against the wire mattress frame that he was just on, gives him like 3 or 4 kidney shots, cranks up the electricity, so he's stuck to it, and he's like, he's barbecuing his ass. I don't remember if he does anything to Colonel Maitland. I don't know if he does anything to him, but he basically grabs his shit, and she starts shooting through the floor at the soldiers who are in there. So she got his back. She got his back already. And so they're outside, and now it's time to escape. But everybody knows we're here, so it's not going to be that easy. So they're making their way out, and she's right there with her Uzi. She has his bow and arrow, and arrows trapped to her back. She's, they're in it, and now the mortars again. Hear them screaming in Vietnamese, over here, whatever they're saying. And he's he's lifting the barbed wire with his bare hands for her to crawl under. It's go time. We got to get the hell out of here. He grabbed one of their AKs. The escape was on.
Right,
Matthew.
Yeah. So someone came back for him. His girl, his lady. Because
she's not even his girl at this point.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
She wants him to take her to America. So she's a ride or die with this guy.
She's determined to get half that pension.
Right.
And Matthew Quinlan, my son's 7. He loves this movie. He was watching it with me. I turned it on again before I came in here. He loves this movie. It's great watching it with your son. And this one's not that bad. There's a few cussing scenes, but it's not like super gory violence. There's no nudity.
There's no nudity, right? Yeah, there's none.
No nudity. It's not super gory. I mean, dudes are getting killed, but it's not like 300 was like gallons of blood flying everywhere. It's actually pretty cool to watch with him. I watch it, like I said, my son, he loves it. But they're just running through the jungle. They're trying to get the hell out of it. They got helicopters flying around, shining lights on them. They're trying to get the hell up out of there. And so they're running through the jungle, running and gunning. And Murdoch, he's kind of worried because now he knows, Rambo's still alive. Uh-oh. Whoops. Hoping he'd be dead by now.
You guys think he's going to be pissed when he gets here?
He's going to be mad or no?
So how
out of coke?
How would Murdoch explain that whole abort the mission thing to Rambo?
Yeah.
I mean,
that was crazy. I know.
It's like, hey, my bad. I just got done reading this Roe v. Wade book, and I was like, I got
your
my words
mind
mixed
just
up.
stuck on a word. Like
mine just happened to be abort. And,
personal hero Margaret Sanger.
Yes, I just got done. I was just watching a Margaret Sanger documentary, and then she loved. And then, but he basically is gonna blame it on the higher ups. It's the bureaucracy, man. We all got orders to follow, right, man? Hey, Johnny,
don't look at me.
Yeah, just follow orders. You're a soldier. I'm a soldier. And I don't think that's gonna cut it. And so they have a moment of reprieve.
They get in the clear and they start talking about their future together.
Yeah, she brings up the 50% of the shit again.
Cole, you ever think like a girl like you and a guy like me can make it happen in USA?
Until we marry long enough and legal for me take half shit, long enough for me to have a couple of babies to hold over you.
Fucking A, I knew this would happen again. I can't believe this shit. You'll be the 3rd Vietnamese wife to do that to me.
Yeah, that's why I hear about you from other ladies.
When will I ever learn?
At this point,
you're
in the
known
story,
as dumb one.
Even if they were wonderful to each other, even if they had a long marriage, if you're with Rambo, you just have to figure they get somewhere, they go to a courthouse. We don't like marrying folks like you around here. Like, what is going to happen?
Oh no,
to this poor man?
Yeah, you gotta stay out of those small towns, Rambo.
Jeez,
you guys gotta go to LA, New York.
Living with a guy like Rambo, he has like a knife under the pillow. He's
all I'm saying is, when you don't surprise me, like come around the corner in the house.
She's got an Uzi.
Hey man, if I had to have a roommate, I'd be pretty safe with John Rambo. But this is at this point, she's helped him escape. This is his Xena, warrior princess. She's his female equivalent. She's been
running and gunning with him. She was killing the enemy. She broke him out of there. You know, they were both running from grenades and shit. So this is his equal. He has finally found love. He's finally found love outside of a 10-inch survival knife.
It's such great adventure movie tropes. I know it's an action movie, but adventure too.
Yeah.
The Wizard of Oz, when they dress up to go into the castle. Star Wars, they dress up as the stormtroopers on the Death Star. Here, it's not much of a dress up, but she dresses up as the prostitute to sneak into the bad guy's base. That is such a fun concept of the disguise to sneak into the infiltration. So she's his ride or die, his bitch, his warrior princess, and she got him out, and they're sitting here.
She's
having
also dressed very feminine for the first time as a part of that role. So it's just they're setting you up, folks. Yeah. They are setting you up, man. Yeah, it's rough.
Those light eyes.
Yeah, and they have a kiss.
Yeah,
they have a romantic moment, a romantic beat. You know, they kiss, and she's like, "You take me to America, John?"
Yeah, I'll take you anywhere, baby.
And that wasn't him. That was Little John talking.
No, Little John was like, "Hell yeah!"
She's like, "Why voice come from down there?"
Well, it's like me up here, and it's like him down there. He's got a mind of his own, you know. He's smaller than me, but he's strong. A lot of influence.
They start to cross this stream. They're happy. They made it out. They're gonna go to America together and try and give it a whirl. And she gets.
And he's grabbing his shit. He's grabbing his stuff.
Oh, they go at the same time, and he leaves his little pack or his arrow on the ground, and he forgets it. So he turns around to get it. So he's not there. And when she steps out, she gets wasted
by little piece of shit Tay.
Hey, it was Tay.
The little weak ass officer Tay, who takes off running.
Right. So he effectively sucker punches someone. He shoots her when she's not looking. He kills a woman with a sucker punch shot and then runs away like a pussy.
Runs away.
This guy's like just a total
layers. There's layers to this guy.
Her last words to this day are some of the fucking worst ever. She says, Rambo, she's like, "Don't forget me." And I'm like, dude, I gotta be real with you. I really feel like wish he had said this. I've seen a lot of traumatic shit. I can assure you this is gonna be with me forever.
Yeah, I won't forget
fucking hell.
Yeah, terrible. And she he can't pursue him because he has to turn around and tend to her. But this guy Tay is a piece of shit. He called the boats. He called the boat to go shoot up the pirate boat. He took his knife and was handling his weapon, his woman at the time. And then now he shoots his girl and then runs away like a bitch into the jungle.
Oh.
You son of a bitch. And that right there, that gentleman is the hair that challenges Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon.
Right.
Lethal Weapon 2.
Yeah. We got to bring the hair back. I haven't cut my hair since the summer. So mine's it doesn't grow as fast as I'd like, but mine's growing pretty long. So
there you go.
Yeah, the hair,
that mane. So he's wasting those little bastards as General Tay runs away into the jungle. Right. But he wastes these little dudes. These are the little pawns. These are the fodder right here. So they get sprayed. And then once they're taken care of, he goes back to, her, and he starts raining, of course. Got to add that emotion. Got to add that layer of emotion. Starts raining heavily. And this is where she tells him, she's all Rambo. And he's like, "You won't get half my shit now." Not good time. You be asshole right now. Sorry.
Is this how you really remember things?
Probably. I don't know nothing really.
I feel like you've done this before.
She's like,
"This is
you so dumb. Would have been real easy to take half shit."
Dude, I'm telling you right now, though.
Easy.
This actually might be. I don't want to say this is the first time it's been done, but I would love for someone to correct me on this. This is a different kind. This leads to a different kind of suit-up scene than we've seen before.
Yeah.
She's in the red dress. and he rips a piece of the dress off before he buries her, and that becomes the iconic red Rambo bandana.
And it is why I wear this red one. I wear it because of Rambo.
Like, that's right.
And if you watch that cartoon as a kid, because they did actually acknowledge these movies, he has this necklace that she wears with the jade on it.
Right.
So he takes her necklace, and it was such an iconic moment that they actually referenced. I believe they referenced that in the anime Ninja Scroll, which we've talked about, where he takes off her bandana she wears and puts it on before the final fight. And it's a really fascinating thing. It's like she says, "Don't forget me," and he's like, "Part of you is coming with me to kill these fools." It's fucking beautiful.
And her little necklace that she says, "It brings me luck." And like people were mentioning this, is that what it's called? None of the minds are soft focus,
right?
You know, that really like kind of cloudy look to it, and it gives it the very, you know, you almost hear the violins in the background.
A little dreamy, a little ethereal, very emotional feeling.
Very gazing into each other's eyes. The rest of the world doesn't exist.
Well, even though it's like a whirlwind and it's a really short romance for these two, like a day and a half.
But it's intense. They were escaping from
saved his life.
It's such a good summation of the classic male-female relationship, because if you take their literal actions as metaphors, man and woman together, fighting together. He's the lead. He's the strong guy. He's the one that knows the jungle a little better. But she is competent in her own right and in her own way and does her things. Her things are not his things, but they're just as important and just as good. And it is a good metaphor for a good marriage or a good relationship. Even though it's only like a day and a half or two that they're together, it's still like, man and woman.
She's invaluable.
One, you know?
She's invaluable. He wouldn't have escaped if it weren't for her. He wouldn't have known his way around the jungle initially if it weren't for her, you know, with the connections and the pirates who ended up being dicks.
Right.
But you know, they definitely needed each other, and they were comfortable in their roles. They were fine.
Right.
She didn't have any snarky comments. She didn't grab his gun and load it for him and throw it back in his lap. You know, she was comfortable in his role. He was comfortable in his. But I tell you what, if they did make it back to America in the brief time they're together, however long you legally have to be married to somebody before you can divorce them and fuck their life up and relegate them to a futon. But if she were out somewhere and comes back to the table, I'm gonna go use the bathroom. He comes back, John, that guy grabbed my ass. I feel bad for that guy because
I feel bad for everyone in that restaurant
for the trauma, for what you're gonna see. I mean, you know, it would be perfect. 5 guys, they won't take no for an answer. Let's go outside. Perfect.
Yeah, I love these movies. But they also cause me pain because part of me thinks, okay, she survives. They go back to America. They're getting off the plane, and that fucking sheriff, Brian Dennehy, shoots her right as he's getting off the plane. I'm telling you, I don't trust these movies, man.
Suck.
They'll break your fucking heart.
Right. That would suck. What a cool scene that would be to see Rambo go back home with her. He finally gets some peace. They almost took it in the jungle, let's say. Let's say she made it, all right? He finally gets some peace. His world is quiet. He has a woman who loves him, who understands him. They're in America. They're building something, and they're at the local Denny's. And there's some guy in one of those, you know, puffy jacket vests, you know, with a flannel underneath it, who's a local asshole who comes in all the time. And he says, you know, hey, let's get out of these guys, you know, talking shit. Yeah. So they get up to leave, and they follow him outside. Hey, asshole, where are you going? You know, some unrealistic.
Talking to me?
Why don't you bring that sweet piece of ass over here?
Honey,
you know,
no,
something like that.
Let it go. Don't talk. Forget it. Let's go home, honey.
Hey, you right. You guys, it's not worth it. Let's go home. They throw like an ice cream cone or some shit in the back of the
She turns around. She's like, douchebag? Did you just call moi? Douchebag? And then he just lift him up out of
this fucking guy.
Same guy.
You know, or they come up and like, or, you know, if it was a real like low budget 80s movie, they would like backhand her. Like,
oh,
yeah.
Shut up, bitch. I wasn't talking to you.
That's right. I need some, but then you got to have some, you have to take out that knife, and I want some Book of Eli.
Switchblade.
You know what I mean?
It has to be a switchblade.
I told you weren't going to get that hand back. Like, I want that shit, man.
You should have let me go to my car. And then he
I
takes that
wanted
knife.
soup and a sandwich. The fuck is wrong with this country?
Yeah, slaughters him. Then they stick around. The cops come up. Damn it, John. This isn't Nam. You're back home now, all right? Stop the killing. He just takes her home. No problem. No paperwork. No going down to the station. 5 dead. This isn't Nam, John. That's it.
Yeah, I even saw Rambo: Last Blood. Not a great movie, but even in that, they have a horrific death for him in that movie for a loved one. It's just like when that character died, I was like, "What? Really?
That was sad,
Like,
man.
this guy never gets like his people always die on him." Jeez,
Dude, and that one was really bad. And the violence, though, it was almost. I watched it the first time. I was like, "Dude, this is a
when
violent."
he kills everybody with a hammer.
Or like everybody got killed with a tool. It was like a pitchfork to the mouth, or
it's the kind of movie where you're like going, man, I gotta get to sleep. I better watch something calm like Apocalypto before I go to bed.
I need to chill out. Where's Menace to Society? But yeah,
shit.
What's
Don't
that?
go there, man.
You said calm down, right?
Your mother.
You said calm down.
Shit.
But what's the sickle? You know that the Grim Reaper has. Like everybody gets killed with that. And the last Rambo, everybody's killed very, very primitively. I was like, damn, dude, come on.
He goes into that whorehouse with a fucking hammer and just kills everybody.
Well, you know,
just want to work on it. But the fourth one before that, the Rambo, whatever blood that one is,
the
one that
jungle
came
one,
out
where he
2008.
gets loose with the 50 cal on the back of the
Yeah,
Jeep.
dude, that one was pretty.
He's just like melting guys with that gun. It's hilarious.
Yeah, like he puts a 50 cal like basically up to this guy's forehead, like pressing against his forehead, and pulls the trigger, and the guy just turns into a mess in the front seat. Yeah, but anyway, none of those are this Rambo. So
shout out to Co. She was a real great girlfriend for a day.
Co got to go, but she matched his intensity. So not only did he have his love, but his respect. You know, we were in battle together. Like it's his equal. There's no other woman in the world who could keep up with John Rambo. So, you know, and she's gone, and to be taken from and who she was taken by. You guys have taken enough from me.
Oh, that little bastard.
You scarred my body up and took, you know, my mental. You put me in a horrible place. You scarred my body. You took my boys. You know, you got them all pinned up. Now you took my girl on top of the deception from my own people. I shouldn't even be here right now. I should be at McDonald's with POW guy telling him about the latest movies and shit and who Michael J. Fox is. And you got me down here cradling the love of my life. Dude, it's over.
Yeah.
You guys
if only I could get a hold of a heavily armed chopper and give you some kind of retribution.
Yeah, if only I can find my explosive arrow tips.
Right.
And get my hands on a gunship.
Dude, that guy is fucking shredded.
He's like, now it's time for me to take
like
from
3% body fat here or something.
Dude,
if that seriously. Shredded. You saw him on that damn rack when he was electrocuting him in the double bicep pose.
His most ridiculous physique in his entire career is Rambo 3. Because he's just as low body fat, but he's even bigger. His muscles are even bulkier. It's in Rambo 3, his physique is insane.
Dude, he's like 50% horse blood coursing through his veins. He was injecting all kinds of shit. But that was the 80s.
Right.
Like, so what, man? Let it do
This
what
is
you
where
want
you
to
do need Lincoln Osiris to make an appearance. I'm trying to come up a little bit. You got any tips?
Man.
I mean, he's fucking shredded.
Dude, shredded.
Holy
It's
shit.
raining. And he when he gets up, he has his weapons, his bow and arrow laying on her. He's buried her in a bunch of dirt and mud. And then he has his bow and arrow laying on it. And when he gets up, he grabs him and he squeezes the mud. And the mud's coming through his fingers like, you know, this is you're my earth. You're everything to me. And now you're taken away from me. Now I'm just going to take my tools of destruction. There's no more politics. There's no more just take pictures. There's no more hiding it. I don't need to be quiet. I'm just going to fucking wreak havoc on all of you and take all this pain, the sheriff, everything, as much as I wanted those hamburgers, all that shit. And I'm about to just, you know, bukkake North Vietnam with it.
Red dress is the bandana again.
Yeah.
Necklace
And
hanging on.
look how small it is.
Dear life.
Her dainty little neck. Yeah. And she's with me. You're coming with me. You're literally on my mind when I'm fucking these people up. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it well.
So,
some commies. That's what it is.
Yeah. So you get the Russians on patrol here in the bushes. And I found a blooper I read on Amazon Prime, if you click, it'll like tell you behind the scenes and bloopers and little notes. In this scene where the Russian guys are coming up the hill, if you look through the trees, I don't have a shot of it. There are two.
Wait. Hold on. Wait. Stop. Are there people in the background?
Yes.
In a blue dress.
One has a blue shirt or dress.
Yeah.
They're like they're like part of the film crew, and they're just
saw
walking
that.
and like they're like walking and talking to each other like two guys.
Wait, I'm sorry to stop you, but I wanted to be. Yeah, I saw that. I noticed that in the movie. I was like, what the hell? I was like, maybe that's
you
a
barely
soldier back
see it.
there.
Yeah, they're kind of small on there, but you can see it clearly. Yeah, it's funny.
Like,
so now,
they were down on a table covered in white powder.
Yeah, they were pulling their head out like this, and they had their finger in their mouth, going like that. But I'm sure we'll get to it. But there's one pretty bad part about this movie. One ridiculous part in this scene, which I was upset about.
Right. So now you get the awesome stalker thing where Rambo's in the jungle. They're looking for him, but really he's hunting them. They think they're hunting him. He's hunting them. So he's doing stuff like popping out of the branches, popping out of the mud, popping out of the leaves, slicing throats, stabbing people, choking people, breaking necks. It's pretty awesome. He's just killing all kinds of
dudes. It's perfect. It's the porn section of the action movie, just straight up crazy shit that you wish you could do. But there's one scene here where there's a guy standing and there's like all these vines around his feet, and so he starts pulling them down like into this hole with the vines around his feet, and the guy's like, but he's not screaming. He didn't grab him and choke him. He didn't stab him in the chest, and he's pulling him down for like 30 seconds. The guy could have easily yelled, "Help, over here, help," but he didn't. He like pulls him down in this pit, and then he stabs him. That part's always bothered me. That's like the worst thing about it.
He was a mute, Jericho, and I don't know if you knew that. He was screaming as loud as he could, and a lot of people say he was communist capable.
Right.
So I don't know what he was doing.
Right.
But that part in the mud, that's the coolest part right there.
Now, hold on.
It's hella cool.
Now, I gotta, it's Arnold there because listen, I gotta confront you on that.
I'm always here.
Okay, well, you have some real explaining to do, my Austrian friend, because 1985, Predator comes out in 1987. I accuse you of watching my movie and being so inspired that you use this in your film Predator, where it took a whole squad of you, by the way, to fight one guy. And I'm one man fighting an entire Vietnamese-Russian army. Did you or did you not copy what I did here?
I did not copy you. I would never copy you. I don't even watch your movies. But if this came out in 1985, I was probably filming Predator around 1985. So how could I put your stuff in my movie? And they say great minds think alike, even though my mind is obviously greater.
All right. Well, I still feel that I did it better. Because again, I took on an entire squad and you was only taking on one alien.
I feel like you were probably hiding behind the scenes of my movie, double jacking in the shadows and nobody could see you, and you were stealing things from my movie.
I quit double jacking a long time ago. I served my time.
Yeah, that's what all the double jackers say. Oh, I don't do it anymore. I don't jack that guy and then jack myself or jack whoever. Once a double jacker, always a double jacker.
When I was double jacking, I was the one swinging the hammer. I wasn't the one getting hit. So
I don't know. I have talked to people. They said you were holding the thing and you were doing a quarter turn. Oh, hit me. I turn it. You hit me.
Well, I still think you copied my movie. Yeah, go ahead, Chad. What was that?
Let me say this. With all due respect, Jericho, I don't know if anything you do going forward with Arnold is going to top a Muggsy Bogues reference. I'm still freaking coming over. I'm like going, did he just drop a Muggsy Bogues reference?
Because he's tiny and he should jump higher and Muggsy could get up there. Get two tiny people together. One guy could jump, he teach you how to jump. A little training montage, and next thing you know, you're jumping higher.
All right. Well, if you're not going to admit it, I guess I'll move on. But we all know who really hid in the mud first. We all know who did it first.
You know what? My greatest sin is I care.
Oh goodness. So yes, thank you, Arnold. By the way, thank you always for being here. It's so great.
He's always when we need him.
Yeah.
He's there.
I would like to know, Arnold, why listen, you're welcome at all times. Arnold Schwarzenegger is always welcome on Double Impact, but why are you always here? I don't mind, just you're always here though.
They're such nice people. They have everything I need here. All my favorite snacks. They put in your room for me.
Okay. Does
I clean it back to myself.
Does Lupita like get concerned? Does she miss you when you don't come home and you're here all night with us? Or
No, she doesn't care. She likes to break from me because every time I'm near, I'm all handsy. I'm touching her. I won't let her sit down. She can't get any work. She can't work when I'm there.
And she has a lot of cleaning to do, right?
Yeah, especially after when I come back here. She has a lot of cleaning to do because when I'm there, it's everywhere. Skynet.
Okay, well, we'll see if we have more questions for you. But thanks again for being here. It's always great.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's jumping out of mud 2 years before Arnold did it, killing people in the jungle. And
that's the best scene because the guy's looking around like doo 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 doo, and you see there's like mud behind him, and all of a sudden Rambo opens his eyes, and you see he's like hiding in the wall of mud, and he takes his knife, sticks that dude in the chest, always in the lungs, so he can't scream, right? So he sticks him, and then he starts running, and they're chasing him over also through different terrain. So he's out of the jungle. He's like running through a town, this mountain town.
Oh, yeah, there was like some Buddhist monks sitting around and kids playing and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a village.
Yeah.
And so it didn't look like it was in 1985. Look, they were like 1885. So the soldiers, Russian and Vietnamese, are chasing him, and he gets to what looks like a cornfield.
Right.
And so these guys park, letting you know these are all the guys that are running into the buzzsaw. This is all the fodder for Stallone to kill.
Yeah.
And so there's like cornfields and stuff, and he has to cut through them, and the soldiers coming from everywhere. So he has to try to lose these guys in this cornfield somehow. So he looks and he sees a chicken, and he sees a can of gas, and you're like, "What the hell?" It zooms in on it, so you get that this is what I'm about to use. And so you're like, "What the hell is he going to do with that?" And so he cut to the soldiers go into the cornfield chasing after him, and they're looking. And this guy, hold on, if you go back one. Anyway, Roomfei, anybody else in here, you see those 3 stars right there? In the American military, there's no way that anybody with that many stars or even 1 star, close to a star, is going to be out in the field walking through the cornfields looking for Rambo. That is laughable. Obviously, in their military, that means something else, but just thinking of it, in our military rank, there's no fucking way anybody.
Those are for attendance.
No way anybody with 3 stars is going to be doing anything like
perfect attendance over a B- average 3 stars.
They're not coming anywhere near the field. No way.
Right.
That in the Navy, that would be like somebody with 3 stars, like busting rust and painting sitting next to you, or doing maintenance on the ship, turning a wrench. There's no way. Right. So they're looking for him, and they see, the blood, so they think he's injured. Like, oh shit, we got him. We grazed him or something, hurt himself. He's injured. So they're following this blood trail, and they're getting deeper and deeper into the cornfield until they realize, they look down and you see a chicken with no head, and he was using the chicken's blood to put on the plants, on the corn plants or whatever. So they think that it was him. But by this time, they're already too deep in the cornfields, and he's surrounding them. He's been pouring the gas around them. And he lights that shit. And if you learn anything from an action movie, for some reason, you always need to have a Zippo on you.
I do love it. I do love in action movies, everything explodes bigger. And I do love that not 5 minutes ago, it was torrential rain, hiding in the mud, burying his girlfriend in a muddy grave. And now it's dry as a bone, this field, to ignite like a tinderbox. I do.
But when it's if you didn't know this, there's different weather systems on either side of the river. If you're on one side of the river, monsoon. Other side of the river, Arizona.
Right, I've heard of that.
I thought you guys got the email about that.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Well, and guys, let me just say this. There's no way that anybody who's ever even seen one movie thinks it's a good idea to go running into a cornfield. Like, what movies? This ain't Field of Dreams. It's every other movie.
Well, Kevin Costner was big in Asia. So maybe they thought Kevin Costner's
if you
in
burn
there.
it, they will die.
Dude, But he torches these fools, and great. They're all pieces of shit. They're feeling up the whores from town. You know, they're doing terrible things. They're torturing, American soldiers. So they deserve this, and they burn to death. The smoke chokes them to death. I mean, they meet a wonderful end. They meet a well-deserved end.
Right. Intergalactic Transfer says there also tends to be a lot of gasoline in 80s movies. Yes. And one of my favorite thing about 80s movies or video games, going back to that copied it in the 80s and 90s, the red barrel. Everyone knows what a red barrel means in a video game.
That's just going to blow up.
You shoot the red barrel and it blows up the bad guys for you.
Every time.
So, yeah, awesome.
Yeah, tons of gasoline. That's one of the supplies that the girl gave him. Was a couple canisters of gasoline to take with him because he used it well. These dudes went up in flames. And then remember those guys that pulled up on the bridge of the truck full of guys? Well, he gets out his explosive tip arrows and he, turns them click, 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 puts them on the end of the arrow and starts blowing shit up. But what they didn't label the canister or the container properly with his arrow tips in it. It just said explosives. What it should have said was Hiroshima tipped arrows because
what are you talking about?
And the village that before he blows these guys up, he's letting off arrows in this village where the guys were. So unless they evacuated those people, I mean, he's firing arrows into these huts and then, boom, like a big ass. Every hut has a 55-gallon drum of petroleum inside of it, and he nails it with that arrow. I mean, boom, huge fireball just turns the fucking hut into kindling. So unless those people were evacuated,
it was a small little remote village of people. And he's not the mayor, but he's kind of the chief. He's the wise man. Yeah. He secured a deal with the government to get every family 250 gallons of heating oil to get through some of the cold weather. You got to store it on your own property in these red barrels we have. What are the odds that some American GI is going to shoot explosive arrows at this?
Dude, I'm talking like each arrow was doing this. This is one arrow, guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
One arrow.
Let's see. Right before he shoots in the village, a little boy's asked his mom, "Mommy, do we have enough heating oil to make it through the winter?" It's like, "Oh, we'll never run out, honey. We have so much oil. Oh, it would take an inferno to get rid of it all,
It would take an explosive tip arrow to blow all this fuel up. And who has one of those?
You're still having nightmares, but the conflict is finally over.
It's finally over. We finally have peace. She's taking this plumeria lei from around his neck. We got our peace leis. The war is over. Boom! Rambo's in town. Everything's blowing up. He's using his explosive arrow tips, finally, blowing up vehicles, blowing up villages, and he finally gets a chance.
Sorry, I drug that on there. I wanted to show this real quick because you remind me. Brian Knapp said Operation Wolf. There was an arcade video game cabinet that had like a Uzi built into it, and it is essentially Rambo. You're going to like a jungle POW camp. He has the gear up, just like Rambo, Like he's getting
I remember this one.
Did you ever play this one, Jericho?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I played this. Great game.
But yeah, you're just out there and
sure did. Hell yeah.
I was at an arcade once, and one of those was busted, and you could just play it for free. It was broken in a way where you could just hit enter or hit one player.
Sounds like a dream.
You know what I like? I've only been about 4 or 5 times, but have you ever been to a barcade? It's like a bar, and then it's filled with like 80s and 90s arcade machines. We have 2 here in town, and they're pretty awesome. So
there's something like that here, except minus the bar. It's kind of an all ages thing, but they have all the old games, Tekken, Street Fighter,
right.
Kung Fu, Double Dragon. They have all the old stuff, man. They're so cool. I mean, granted, it's not as fun when you're an adult, but it's still pretty damn fun.
The nostalgia's fun. The games, you realize some of them are pretty crap, but the nostalgia's fun. I remember getting in trouble in 5th grade because we stayed at Frankie's Pizza to watch an older boy beat Double Dragon because we could never beat it, me and my brother. And this one guy was just whipping ass, and he beat the whole game. It took him like an hour. and we told my mom we'd be home real soon, and then we came home like an hour late, and she was back then no cell phone, no nothing, so she was hysterical.
You guys were murdered.
Yeah, she didn't know where we were, what
Yeah,
ditch
you
our
and your-
bodies had been thrown into or whatever. and-
Yeah, she already had family members coming over to the house to
Right.
console her. I got in trouble in a way similar to that when I was in 6th grade. It was called the Pizzeria in Castroville, California, and I was
All right.
supposed to come home and got caught up there eating pizza, watching people play Street Fighter 2. Same thing, 1992. So there were no cell phones and stuff. So my body was already, being shipped
Glorious.
overseas.
I gotta
That's my
recommend
parents'
this really quick. Brian Hendrick, Pinball Rules All. I'm not a huge fan of pinball, but I don't dislike it.
No.
But in Las Vegas, just like across this Las Vegas Boulevard, the strip, the Las Vegas Strip, where that sign that says "Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas" that everyone poses in front of, that's at the very south end of the strip before the casinos. Actually, across the street from it is what you're seeing on the screen here, the Pinball Hall of Fame. It's like 100,000 square feet of not just pinball games. It's mostly not pinball. I don't know why it's called the Pinball Hall of Fame, but it's every video game you can think of. Video game cabinets going back to like the 70s and stuff, all the way through like the 90s, the great era of arcade games. And you go in there and, everything's like a quarter and it's really fun to play. They have games from Japan and it's huge. And there's thousands and thousands of things. I went there last year with my wife, but if you can think of it, if you've ever played it, they have it there. They had like a Nickelodeon, the kind you put a nickel in and you crank it and you see a movie. And it was a video from like 1920 something of Jack Dempsey knocking someone out in boxing. I was like, not video, but it was a little movie on paper cards and stuff. And there was like a World War II B-17, like a tail gunner thing. And it used like magnets and lights and stuff to be like an arcade game from like the 40s or something. It didn't have a video, but it used magnets and stuff to keep track and to hit the targets. And fascinating place. So if you get out to Vegas, the Pinball Hall of Fame is fantastic. It's a really neat place.
Yeah, arcade games were the shit, man.
Yeah.
That was.
Dude,
I'm so glad I got to experience that.
My favorite game. I mean, well, yeah, because right, you would have like friends for this, like you met playing like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or whatever. But my game was, and I love all the games that had like the Uzis that you could use like to fire. But my favorite of those was a game called Beast Busters, where you're going through and you're shooting up these like zombies, and it had great animation.
Like Area 51 and shit.
Yeah, stuff like that. Loved those, man.
Time Cop. I love Time Cop. That shit was fun. But my shit was Tekken.
Here's Beast Busters for you.
Yeah, man. Look at that. It's a perfect example of a zombie before and after, man.
Right.
It was the shit.
I liked my shit was Tekken 2, Tekken 3,
Yep.
Soul Calibur.
Right.
That shit was awesome. But yeah, the shooting, the T2, Time Cop,
I love T2,
Silent Scope. I love that one.
Did you guys ever play Hard Driving? It's a game from the 80s, and it was a race car game where you sit down in a chair. There's a stick shift and everything. But it was
where
a
you
crazy...
double tap the pedal and it like would do boosters or whatever.
This is Hard Driving here.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And you see here the big picture on the right is the loop. There was like a loop
that shit was
in the
hard.
track. And whenever you died in this game, they would do like an insert replay from different angles.
Yep.
And I would drive halfway up the loop and hit the brake and make the car just crash on purpose.
Because you want to see the replay.
And just laugh and the car would fly down and burst into flames.
That game was the shit, man. That one in Cruising USA was another cool
Daytona?
one.
Daytona racing was awesome too.
Yeah, dude. Kung Fu, Paperboy.
Shinobi.
Yep.
Skate or Die. Yes, that's a great movie. I feel sorry for kids nowadays with all the streaming and not going to the movie theater as much and no arcades. You guys have no idea how amazing a video game arcade is. When
that shit was so much fun, man. You put your quarters up on the little panel there to let people know I'm going to be here for a minute.
Right.
We're gonna have to though change. I think what we're saying about feeling sorry for kids today, because I will tell you this, because my kids are right in between the ages of both of you guys as kids. And I can say for a fact that there's a massive pendulum swing.
Really?
The post-lockdown generation who had to go through that is more social, more independent, and more going out with their friends than ever before.
Good.
And they want to, and my wife is seeing this with her high school students, they want to do more stuff physically. They've been staring at screens, forced staring at screens. It's like the lockdown was that version of where you get caught with cigarettes and your parents make you smoke the whole pack.
Yep.
Just for everybody to know, don't
Awful.
ever play that game with an 11-year-old Sean. I'm a fucking
Right.
champion. Give me Paul
Finally.
Malfotalos and I'll be like, you got another pack? Just deal with it, folks. I was the real deal. But I will say this, though, is that they're seeing all this stuff via Stranger Things. They're seeing all of this stuff, and it is like, it would almost give you whiplash to see what's happening between the generations that are, sophomores and juniors in high school to now. It is, you mark generations by the big events that happen. And
Right.
I think that the generation that was deprived of socializing for that time and is kind of creating this massive wall between the woke, try to control everybody, and the, fuck you guys, we're going to just live.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm optimistic, man.
It's good to know, man.
I think
It really
you're
is.
right. I think all of us who went through all the lockdowns and all the everything and all the whatever you believe about it. I don't want to say anything because YouTube, but I think you all know what I think. But it makes you realize that like grinding away in an office for 40 years and then just fucking dying or something, that is not what you should do. Like all I want to do is be with my wife and my kids and my granddaughter and my buddies, like you guys here, Jericho and Sean, and that's it. Like I'll work because I need to, and it is rewarding. But I just realized like wasting your short life, even if you live to 100, it's still short. You know what I mean? And it is. You're so right. Getting out there, enjoying life, having fun, and just I don't know, being able to be with people and love them and have a good time. I think the trauma of the last 3 years ish has made a lot of people realize that's actually what's important in life. So,
and these guys in the chat too, guys, I can't overstate this. When you guys come here, this stuff that we do is you cannot do this. You see us week after week. We take a 1-hour movie and we stretch it into a 9-hour conversation. You can't do this if it's not real and if you're not having a great time with it.
Right.
If you're not enjoying it and you start looking around and you say life's too short. Both Gabe and I walked away from, careers in a particular space to go off and do our own things. And if we had thought, I would love to say that we thought that there was a safety net or whatever else, but we've all come out into this space, and I would have. There's no way I would have met these guys. I didn't know the show was waiting for me. I didn't know this was going to happen. These are leaps of faith, and you start suddenly finding yourself around the right people who've got your back, who are there ride or die because they are looking for people who are honest and genuine, who talk about these movies. Not like there's some cheap disposable art form, but because movies like, Rambo First Blood Part 2 was part of what made me the person I am today. Like, I want to be more like that. I want to be a hero. I don't want to think about leaving people behind. I don't want to be that evil guy. And when you guys come in here, we talk video games, whatever it is, it's real, it's from the heart, and that's what makes it great. It makes this alive.
Yeah. Well said, dude. And I think it is true. It's like full circle. You and I both walking away from our careers because we could not tolerate the evil they were asking us to do, to be woke and just destroy Western culture. And it's funny, this culture we're trying to preserve, partially my religion first, my family second, but then entertainment gave me the morals to do this. When I was leaving DC Comics in a secure paycheck, dude, I was a superstar over there. They loved me. They gave me all kinds of work. I had too much work. I had to turn work down. I made great money doing that, but I'm doing a lot better now. But I remember when I was thinking of quitting that job and I didn't really have anything lined up, but they're asking me to commit evil. I thought literally of this scene from Indiana Jones. That you're gonna, when he can't see this bridge and he's just gonna take the leap of faith anyway.
Yeah.
And I prayed about it. I said, God, don't let me fall here because I can't do what DC Comics has asked me to do. I can't do that. That's wrong. So I have to leave. And this movie would go through my mind when I would think about like, okay, you just got to step out there. And I'm sure you felt the same way. And that's why we celebrate these movies and stuff, because the lessons they teach you are so important. They teach you can do this. Watch this guy do it. You can do it too. Believe me. And that's what I love about heroic action adventure stuff, So,
amen.
Yeah, love it. That's why we're here, baby.
Yep.
So yeah. So anyway, he lights the cornfield on fire.
Burn these fools.
Guys are burning alive, just like they deserve.
But guess who we found? Guess who we found?
Fucking General Tay
didn't go in the cornfield with his men.
Little
Guess who
bitch.
didn't go in there? This little bitch.
The little bitch of them all. The one who killed the only woman he's ever loved. Rambo probably didn't even love his mom. This is the only woman he's ever loved, and this little bastard shot her.
Right.
Well, she wasn't even looking.
This guy probably didn't even tip that prostitute, you know?
Yeah, and if you're
just
and the worst of all, he didn't.
And if you're invested, you say to yourself, but what kind of death do you give the man who took everything from you?
Right.
And by God,
take everything from him.
Yeah.
You take everything from him.
They're gonna bury you in a Ziploc bag, motherfucker.
Right. So he's shooting at him with like a 45 or a 9mm. He's just shooting at Rambo with a little pistol.
And he's way far away. I mean, you gotta be real good to hit somebody from that far.
Yep.
Jeez. So he gets the explosive arrow.
Oh, boom!
There's a frame. I paused it when I was watching it. It's literally one frame of the movie. It's a dummy, and he's all like stiff with his arms right before it blows up. It's hilarious. I should have got a picture of it. It's quite hilarious, the dummy they have there.
But in real time, at full speed, you can't even tell.
Glorious.
It's just arrow comes in. It's like, shoo! It like makes a sound, like almost like a whistling sound, and then boom.
Next time, make sure to tip the lady. You know,
bang!
I got a tip. Here's my tip.
Is it like 15, 20%, like when you eat out at a restaurant, or what do you think you tip?
I do 20%.
20%? Okay.
Yep. Right. 20.
You doing 20?
Yeah,
that's if it's good service.
All right.
If you do 18, you just seem like a prick.
Yeah, come on, you gotta pull
like,
extra.
If you catch her looking at her watch or something, her tip's going down. You know, like.
Yeah, if there's anything like upspeak, like what can I get for you? You're done. New waitress.
All right. So anyway.
God. Oh yeah, what the fuck? Can we go back to this?
This is the rest of the gasoline in Southeast Asia. The entire Southeast Asian region. All of their gasoline is used in this next scene.
Right.
So it's the helicopter, and it's flown by muscle-bound henchmen for the Russians. Right. And he flies over, and Rambo's like on this waterfall, and he flies over and drops this drum, big-ass drum, and he looks, and he realizes, oh, shit, so he starts running, and he even tosses his bow and arrow, his beloved bow and arrow, he tosses it, and he's running, and so it keeps going back from him running to that thing falling, him running to it falling, and it's just like, man, I don't know how high they were when they dropped that shit, because it's a good few seconds. And then he jumps at the last second, and then the drum hits, and boom! There's explosions on multiple levels of this thing.
Oh.
I don't know how much gasoline was used, but like this entire area,
I think that was the United States Strategic Reserve is what they used.
That was all of it.
Yeah.
Damn. I mean, the whole area was just in flames. It was crazy. Huge 1980s explosion. It was lovely. And then, of course, which is a myth, they're shooting into the water, but as fast as the bullets are traveling, you know, if the higher you are and you jump in the water, it hurts. The water's like hard. So the bullets, they only go like a couple inches in the water, and then they lose momentum. So when you see them like, you know, shooting down 10, 20 feet, whizzing past the good guys as they swim away, that's bullshit. It don't happen.
Yeah, and they bring the helicopter down so low that Rambo's able to jump on the little.
Yeah, because he's trying to shoot into the water to get him. So he comes down like a few feet over the water, and
it's just moronic.
Oh no! Put the skids in the water. Right. Get down low. Get the water up to the engine right before it conks
You
out.
have the high ground. Keep it, but I guess not. In Soviet Russia, helicopter land on you. You know.
Look, in America, I get high ground. In Russia, we get low ground. So there you go, Russia.
Dangle your legs out there a little more.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
He jumps up, pulls that dumbass into the water, gets on the chopper, and now he's fighting with muscle-bound Russian henchmen,
right?
Vladimir, and the classic choke. You know, there's usually like an eye gouge or something like that.
And then it gives him a little ride. You know what? I've heard people say that communists do get free helicopter rides.
Yeah, that's true.
They do, but they never get to land. They only get to go up. They never get to land.
There you go, you commie bastard.
Hey, take that, you piece of shit. So now that's the pilot. So he flips Vladimir out and then tosses the pilot because they mentioned earlier that he can fly. I mean, when they were reading his whole jacket this medal, that medal, demolition helicopter pilot. So he can fly it. So he don't need no commie pilot. We don't need no stinking commie pilots. So he kicks his ass out the door. And unfortunate for that guy, they weren't a few feet over the water that time.
No, now they decide to be at high up.
Risen to a robust altitude that he can't handle, kicks him out. And so now it's on. Now I'm headed back to the POW camp, and hopefully he has a perfect memory of how it's mapped out because he blows up a lot of buildings.
Yeah, he starts laying waste to their little camp.
And everything is
satisfying.
Every rocket that comes out.
Of a man.
He's just crazy, but a controlled crazy, not chaotic, but a controlled lunacy. He's just.
If you want to feel some
focused.
agony, just picture that young man from the last movie looking over the scenic town, hoping to go meet his buddy.
Oh man,
go get a burger with Delmar.
I know. And then says to himself, at least before I hit the road, I gave a picture to his lady. I can just get something to eat. This motherfucker is still on track.
Dude,
it's like everybody's got to go. Everybody.
Blowing up. Everybody's getting rockets. He's handing rockets out like the candy, blowing shit up.
Hey, you guys want a rocket over there? Okay.
You get a rocket.
I'll take one. And then he has the minigun also on it, so he's spraying him with that shit. I mean, he's raining it down on them.
Everybody look under your seats. There's a thing of gas.
Hey, I got my own rocket, Dad. Boom.
Right.
Yeah, man, it was all bad for everybody on the ground.
God.
Except the POWs. They were fine, but everybody else is blown the hell up.
Yeah, it's a glorious scene. It feels like in every awesome video game where you can get the special power or the special vehicle or the special gun, but you only can have it for like 30 seconds or a minute, So he just goes crazy with the helicopter in here, destroys everything.
He's giving rockets to everything. Boom, boom, boom. Shooting them. It's great. All the bad guys are dying. All the evil commie perverts are dying. And
commie perverts.
All the commie perverts.
And then
dying.
I think this is Rambo at his most iconic. When I picture Rambo, what I saw as a child, when people picture him, is that the M60 or is this an HK? Whatever
That's
it is.
the HK. He only uses the HK in this movie.
This is the chain-fed light machine gun that is basically firing carrots out the barrel. Carrots made of lead and brass.
Yeah, it's 7.62, so it's like a fully automatic hunting rifle, basically, same kind of rounds.
Jeez.
And it makes sense that they use the HK and not the M60 because this is a Russian.
Sure. They wouldn't have our M60.
Yeah. So that's why he has it. But hey, he's doing great with it. He doesn't skip a beat. He's fucking him up with that machine gun. Yeah. And another classic trope.
John Rambo to Raven real quick. Yeah, Raven.
Hell yeah. As soon as he stepped onto the ground, he was back to Raven. And he goes up, another classic trope. You don't have a key to get in through that lock? Don't worry. Shoot it.
Yeah, that was funny. He's like his answer to everything is to shoot that gun at it,
Yeah, he's like, hey, stand back. There goes the lock.
You want me to warm that coffee up for you?
You got any change for the vending machine?
Hey, you having trouble with your homework? That's it.
You just gave me a flashback, Sean, of one of the little treasures, one of the little joys of childhood. You're at the swimming pool or the tennis courts or whatever. You're with your buddies. You get tired. You had a game. You a lot of exercise, and you go to the vending machine, and you put in the buck or whatever. You get the chips, and you get a twofer. Two of them fall.
Yeah.
How great was that? That only happened to me like 2 or 3 times.
Beautiful.
But it's great when that happens.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Love it, man. Sometimes the heavens open up and they give you a couple rays of sunshine, and that's one of them, man. That's a beautiful thing. And this guy
you accidentally break the glass and empty out all the chips. No, sorry, go ahead.
No. That's a crime, Sean. That's a crime.
Yeah.
You can't do, that's illegal, man.
That's why I was breaking rocks.
I know I'm out here in California, but I'm pretty sure it's illegal where you are.
That's how the
it was under $9,000, Jericho.
I'm good.
That's how the Chatty Boss got his start, ripping off vending machines.
Yeah, a lot of organized crime started with vending machine fraud. Right. So
yeah,
very
I would take them and then I would flip them. I flipped them for real.
Turn one vending machine into 3.
So
right.
This idiot, and if you think about it, why would this guy draw attention to himself? They think you're dead. Let him fly away, and then you can live. But no, he does the classic. You think he's dead. He picks up a gun, shoots at the good guy, and hits one of the POWs in the back as they're loading up onto the helicopter to be rescued by John Rambo. What a piece of shit. Then he really gets fucked up. Then Rambo focuses all of his attention on him and gives him like 175 rounds in his face. Like, why didn't you just stay quiet, you idiot? Now you're going to eat this whole magazine for dinner, you dummy.
Yeah, it's like fossilized by like bullets. There's no body, but the shape of him in bullets.
Now he's going to shoot you in your mouth. So, yeah, that guy's out of here now. So are they. Home free, right? Nope.
Look at this monstrosity that's coming after them.
Dude, like a fighter, like a jet fighter, got frisky with a helicopter
and a tank.
And a tank.
It's all of it. It's all,
and that's how you get this beast.
I realized, like, I didn't realize it. Because I was thinking about it backwards just now, and then I had an epiphany that no, it's the other way. I was like, oh, this is like a video game. Like when they made this movie, they structured it like a video game. And I said, no. Video games were structured like these movies. Because the movies came first, you know what I mean? The video games like this came later in the late 80s and the 90s. But this is like the final boss in a video game where he is the ultimate vehicle. And in what world is the general flying the helicopter?
That's what I'm saying.
This is like the 3-star general in the cornfield. And now you have the Russian generals flying the Russian attack.
Yeah, dude, that is not going to happen in real life. That dude is in a place where he doesn't get his hands dirty anymore, not even close.
Right.
But here, hey, you're there, all hands on deck, sir. So you're gonna have to get behind the pilot seat and do your thing. And he's okay with it,
right?
He's not worried at all.
Him. Yeah, they're chasing him down, shooting
wrong. But he's, they're chasing him. But this thing is, as you can see, loaded. So it's shoot. I mean, he's just tearing shit up. Rambo's using all his skills to steer clear of this thing's armament. But then he takes one. And they crash into the water, and the gunship comes around the corner and sees him there. And of course, classic action movie fashion, instead of staying 3 miles back and just littering him with rockets to make sure not only that he's dead, but you stay alive. No. Let me get super close and then sit there and stare at him for a minute or two. And in doing that, well, he fucked up.
He was like, I have to blow this
guy up.
Look
how close
he is. When he gets the chance to blow him up, he's like, let's just take it in for a moment, boys.
Dude, if he shot him.
Someone starts celebrating before they cross the finish line of a race, and someone else runs right past them.
Spuds McKenzie comes out from the back of the truck.
Idiot. I saw one, it was a marathon, it was ice skating. And this dude was about to cross the finish line, and he puts his hands up and slows down, and the dude just goes right past him. I was like, you idiot. And another one, the guy fell. Yeah. He was about to cross the finish line, and he fell and couldn't get back up, and they just went shoot right past him, man. Right. But he's so close that if he shot a rocket at him, he would get hit with the shrapnel. Look how close he is. It's not even safe to shoot him at this point. But let me get a good look at him. He's sitting there dead behind the steering column or whatever. Let me just
he's totally not faking. He looks totally dead.
He's totally dead. I can see through that windshield covered in water and with a big old hole in it and cracking.
Asleep?
Yeah,
you think American is dead.
Yeah, he's so cute. Look at him sleep there. He's so precious.
I just want him to grab
baby.
Grab the radio and go, Foley's on the grounds. Well, how the hell should I know? Get your people out here. Like, come on, just give it to me a little bit. Just a bit.
That was originally written for Sylvester Stallone.
Right. I know.
He passed on it. Good job.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. I think we've done Beverly Hills Cop. But if we haven't done Beverly Hills Cop with you, Jericho, we've got to do that movie. Because I will say this, is that as brutal of a hit as what happened to Coe was in this movie, I will tell you, I don't think there's an 80s movie with a more brutal hit on a character than Michael Tandino. Like
Yeah,
that
was pretty
shit
raw. That was raw.
the roughest shit I've seen in a movie. And I saw RoboCop, for fuck's sake.
Right in the hallway. They got him right in the hallway, man. And that same dude, the guy who killed him, another great character actor, asshole
Brilliant.
in the 80s and 90s. That guy.
Yeah.
I don't even know his name, but you know what I'm talking about.
Right?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
The way he did Mikey Tandino, that was terrible, man.
That was bad because they had such a connection. They were the old buddies, and no.
Yep.
But he just shot him in the back of the head.
Just like he's like so inhumanity, like no dignity whatsoever. Just
No.
Yeah, did he I think he walked up to him, he just shot him, or did he like pull his head up and then shoot him? Like,
he pulled his head up. What he did was he punched him in the stomach, knocked him to the ground, and then he like pulled his head up. It was like his hair.
Yeah.
And it was like boom, like it was. And the thing is, you've known, you spent time with him. You know Michael's up to bad news. You know they go way back, blah blah. This is not like, it was such a tonal shift. Dude. And I tell you what, man, when you're watching a flick like this, it's so funny. I almost texted you guys when I got to the end of this movie to go, I hate movies today. That was going to be the text. Because when I see this stuff, I go, this is what we're capable of. And I guess Top Gun Maverick proved it on a much smaller budget. Give us something great. Give us something great, please.
And we'll shower you in cash.
Yep.
Right. So, okay. So the bad guys do that dumb thing where they hang out. They don't kill the good guy when they should. He's in dreamland. But no, he had another RPG and he shoots the helicopter, sending the Russian general, send him straight to hell.
Dude blew his ass up.
Right.
So he's gone. All the Russians are dead. The Vietnamese are dead. Who's next? So yeah, they're all on the plane. One guy, they're tending to him.
Right. That's the only one left is Murdoch. So.
Yeah, and they're tending to the guy who got shot. He's on the floor of the chopper. He's flying back. Smoke is coming out because he took a hit from the gunship. But they're gonna make it, guys. We're gonna make it home.
Look at Murdoch. Look at his
Murdoch. He has like the nervous farts, like before you're gonna get an ass whooping.
I can't tell you how happy I am to hear they're on their way here right now.
Oh my gosh.
Are you being thieved?
Everyone just won $1 million.
$1 million. If
you get an RPG.
If you can come in the studio and point out all the cuts of meat, you will win $1 million from 102.3 The Meat.
That's
right. Right outside of here. What's going on? So
it's all right. We were just talking about his nervous farts.
Yeah, dude, he's about to get his ass killed right now.
Yeah.
Troutman's like, I can't do nothing for you, man.
Right.
I told you not to do it. Once Johnny has his mind set on something, there's nothing I can
Maybe
do.
Johnny forgot. That was just yesterday.
It was only 24 hours ago.
I'm sure nothing horrible like the love of his life getting killed has happened.
Yeah, man, and there's no way he's going to retain any information.
All I'm saying is I can't believe you don't have any extra shorts, guys. You know?
Did I ever tell you about the town he killed?
Sir, you told us to pack light. We only packed you one pair of shorts. Son of a bitch. And you notice the guys, like, that guy's shirt is open. The other guy has it unbuttoned. In extreme weather situations like this, when it's super hot, they will have you relax your uniform. Now, back in 85, the uniform rules and regulations were a lot more loose than they are now. But I remember being overseas and it was super hot. We were able to, take your coveralls down, just the top. You have a white T-shirt underneath. They're still, buckled at the waist, but you can at least take the top part down to cool off. So there was such thing as relaxing the uniform for the extreme conditions.
This is a silly question. This is a silly question about military. Do military uniforms, do they ever have shorts? Are there shorts to wear, or do you just only wear pants?
If you're a CB, they wear shorts. SEALs can wear shorts. But no, in the regular military, there are no shorts.
Because I wear shorts pretty much here.
Definitely not those.
What about jean shorts?
Jorts? No,
hey,
jorts.
What about shants, dude? Like a vato wears those. You can't tell if they're high water jeans or just really low shorts.
Oh yeah, those things are stupid. No, there's no shorts of any kind unless you're a CB or a SEAL.
I want to see that dude Murdoch go, all right, man, if I'm going to die, I'm dying in my cargo shorts.
I'm going to be comfortable. I'm at least going to die comfortable.
Yeah, he's very worried right now. He's like,
Oh, yeah.
You don't think he was serious about that whole "I'm going to get you, Murdoch" thing, do you?
yeah, he was just joking, right?
He was just fucking with me, right?
Yeah. You guys teach comedy at the Airborne Ranger School, right?
No, I said don't abort the exfil. I said don't.
Yeah, I said come back after pickup, not before pickup.
Right.
No.
Yeah. So
I said support. I said support him.
Right.
Support. Son of a bitch, these radios. That's what it is.
It seems like totally impractical and useless, but that weird necklace with 6 rounds in it is pretty badass. It's incredibly stupid.
It's useless, but it looks cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's like, oh, can I put this on before you say action? Nah, go ahead. Who cares?
Anything, just take off that giant dollar sign.
Oh, cool. And Cobra Kai, he's a dick. He's like, oh, glad you made it back, or some fucking smart ass comment like that. And he was the pilot. When they pulled off, when they were hovering 10 feet above the ground and took off, he's the pilot and he's looking out the window down at Rambo as he takes off.
Yep. I didn't pick you guys up, but I want you to know I did wave.
Yeah. Hey, remember I put the peace sign?
Tammy has a little commentary on Murdoch here.
Real classy, Tammy, eh?
Tammy, the answer is no. The answer to that is no. They shouldn't have lumps. That means that something has gone terribly wrong.
Yeah, you made an accident. Because a fart.
You're gonna have to leave the Golden Corral and go home and clean it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to time it out. Not saying you can't come back.
Right.
But you're gonna have to take a time out.
Yeah, you will have to.
Because turd, man, fart, that's just a turd honking for the right away, man. A fart is a turd honking for the right away.
No, I heard you.
I'm a coming.
You guys get that thing when you go to and I don't mean to be classist. I'm not a snob at all. I'm a down to earth person. I really am not a snob, but I feel like when I go into a Walmart, the 3 times a year I go in, I'm dressed horribly. I'm like, how the fuck did this happen? Like, I don't dress like a slob, but like you're compelled to dress like a slob. Like you go in there and everyone is dressed in their Sunday work.
Dressed like shit. Yeah.
Why though?
A lot of pajama pants. Yeah.
Those the only time I go shopping bottomless. You know what I mean? Just nothing from the waist down.
You like Porky Pigging it when you go out?
Yeah. I Porky Pig it, flip flops. I'm rocking out with. Never mind. We'll get there.
I don't know. I just feel like when I'm in a Walmart, I look down. I'm like, what the hell am I wearing? Why did I wear this?
Dude, there is the Walmart crowd, man. There's a Walmart near here. And when I go in there, some of the people, I'm like, holy fuck, man. You guys.
I go to Walmart, I think 3 times a year. I go there to get a Christmas tree because they're not expensive there. And I went there, my microwave broke. So I'm like, where can I get a microwave for $80? I don't know. I go there twice a year. I can't stand it. Ugh. I hate it so much.
You dress in the ceremonial garb when you go there, though.
Right. Oh, this shirt. Yeah, before I leave the house, I'll put a little mustard on my chest before I head off to Walmart.
Mustard? You should see the stains on my shirt, man. That ain't no damn mustard.
Oh, no. See the stains on my shorts before I go.
It ain't mayonnaise neither, brother.
Oh, he's fancy. He's wearing underwear to the Walmart.
Ooh, look at him. I zipped my pants up.
You know, the great thing about doing the show when you're recovering from any kind of virus is the thought that eventually you're going to cough up blood. I mean, the laughter. You guys are killing me, man.
Oh, man. Look at me. I don't have my dick hanging out. Think you're fancy, boy. Think you're fancy.
There was a video that went viral 8 years ago. Some girl sang a song called People of Walmart. And you got to Google it. I'm sure it's on YouTube, but these are the people of Walmart. And it was pretty hilarious, actually.
It's true. That's why it's so funny.
Yeah.
Yes. He's real cocky here with his 6 bullets, 645 rounds on his neck. And boom.
Yeah, he knees him in the balls first. He's like, oh, glad you made it back. And he knees him in the nuts and then gives him the butt of the HK rifle.
Right.
So yeah,
So
that was
yeah,
nice.
glad you made it back. But I finished all the bouillabaisse right before you got here.
That's what pissed him off.
Yep.
You finished all the fucking what?
And
All the
and
bouillabaisse.
Troutman's just
Oh,
like, look at Troutman.
Yeah,
Troutman's like, fuck it.
He's like, I would have hit him too.
He's like, yeah, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have said
Troutman's
that,
like,
dickhead.
whatever. Fuck it.
Got him. Now he
Listen.
needs dental work. Next.
Listen, Tammy, you're a mod. We love you around here. I don't ever want to hear the phrase lumpy fart again.
Ever. If you want to be welcome back here, Tammy A, do
You
not.
are always welcome here. The lumpy farts are not welcome here. Just got to say it.
Gross.
I didn't want to say it. You made me say it.
It needed to
That
be
is,
said.
it is hilarious, but it is disgusting.
It needed to be said because Tammy A unchecked.
We tried to
can't-
run a classy show around here, and lumpy farts just won't do.
You cannot say things on a platform such as the one we've created here. Like lumpy fart. What do I sound like saying? Lumpy fart.
Now, I've heard there's a certain gentleman. He likes dumpy, frumpy women, but does he like them lumpy as well?
Well, I don't think so. That's not very classy. You got to draw the line somewhere.
That is what I suspected, Mr. Schwarzenegger.
It's
Thank
disgusting. A lumpy fart. It's disgusting. Get out
you.
of
Well,
here.
you never know. It takes all kinds of people to make the world go round.
No, get out of here. Well, and come back here.
The great
right,
Jericho
no.
unraveling is going to be when one of his shelves collapses and all these monocles, this endless supply, start pouring down. And people go,
I
he's
would
not who
never.
we thought he was.
I would never take part in such sophomore language like a lumpy fart.
I feel like a substitute teacher. I can't get control of the class. Now John's saying soggy bottom. Someone else is just screaming lumpy farts. Knock it off.
That's
Knock it off.
Disgusting. Lumpy
Oh, no,
fart.
let's see, now we're off the rails. One lump or two.
Oh,
Fucking
disgusting.
A.
Now you're talking about shit in your pants.
It's never a good day. It's never a good day when that happens.
Absolutely disgusting.
Anyway, no, Tammy, no, they shouldn't be lumpy. Should not be
They
lumpy.
should not.
Yeah. So
Get
okay, so you
help.
knocked out Crease here because Crease didn't
Yeah.
want to share the bouillabaisse.
Fucking Cobra Kai. He's
That's
out of
right.
here.
He said, hey, strike first, strike hard. How you like that?
And we get a great iconic shot here. You
Yep.
got the steam or the smoke. You got the shaft of light creating that silhouette there. He's holding that HK light machine gun.
Yep.
And he told Murdoch he was coming. He did say that. Look at
So
those
coming
eyes.
to get
too.
you.
Look at those eyes. Just like, bleh, just death is coming for Murdoch. Goodness.
Yep.
And he rages out. He just like, and you see the
The
chain shrinking, the
computers.
chain of bullets just shrinking, and he's going "Ah," with that crooked mouth, and he's just shooting all these fancy computers from the year 1963. These
These fancy
Texas-
schmancy computers.
Texas Instruments or whatever. it is.
Danger.
Yep.
Danger. Yeah, he shoots all that shit. And looks fun. I would love to go into a structure and just unload with a machine gun and shoot all these screens and walls and stuff. Looks like it's very fun. And then he sticks it up in the air, puts a few hundred rounds in the air, and then throws it on the ground and gets to looking for murder.
This guy's got his Fruit of the Looms are filled with Hershey Kisses over here. This guy, he's in his
He's got a
in his office
load.
not knowing what to do. He's got a full diaper though. I'll
He
tell
took a
you that.
dookie. Yeah. He can't sit down. If he sits down, big mess. Yeah. Murdoch's taking a big dookie in his pants because he knows old
hey.
John Rambo's here.
Arnold, is Lord Benson the horse? Is he there? Can you get his attention?
Oh, I'm
Lord
here.
Benson, this is like Yeats or Wordsworth or one of the great poets. Can you read this for us in your old English kind of style?
Oh, but of course. I'm familiar with this one. This is from one of my leather-bound heavy books from the top shelf with the dust on it. Let me blow the dust off.
Oh man, jeez, that's a lot of dust. When was the last time you read this thing?
Oh, it's been a long time. Few moons, I must say.
Do you have a lot of poetry about farts?
I have a whole section of
wow.
just books about flatulence and farts.
Okay. Well, please give us a reading here.
This is one of my favorite passages about farts. And it reads as such as follows. Here I sit, all broken-hearted, try to shit, but only farted. Then one day I took a chance, tried to fart, and shat my pants.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
For this trip down memory lane, sir.
Oh, have you actually shat your pantaloons in public? Has that actually happened?
Oh, at least once or twice a month. I know I should not eat the hot dogs from the gas station, and I tried to make it home, but inevitably I soiled my preference. But all I have to do is ring the bell, and here comes Coleman to clean my bottom.
All right. Well, Coleman sounds like a dedicated butler. So, good job. I love it. Thank you for reading that. It was really, poetry can just touch you in a way. You know what I mean? And it really does when you read it for us. So thank you.
Especially when it touches you in your colon.
All right. Well, have a good night. We got to get back to finishing this movie. Thank you, Lord Benson the horse. Thank you very much.
Good evening, sir.
All right. So anyway, is Shant alive?
Has passed away.
Shant and Jetty, you can't do this. We need you.
Not right now, man. We're 5 minutes from the end of the movie.
All right. He may or may not come back. I think he's okay. I think he'll come back.
Flatline.
Mouse. I think Mousy sums this all up by saying, "I feel so classy." Yeah.
You become classy by association.
Huh? That's what we do around here.
Of course.
Classy affair.
Of course.
What was that guy's name on Gilligan? Thurston Howell.
Howell, the third.
Lovey. He would call his wife Lovey.
Lovey. Of course. Hand me the cognac off of the duvet.
Oh, it's definitely pinkies out and monocles on.
Of course, at all times.
Anyway, let's see. Shant barely knew you.
We barely knew ye, and there you go, passing away from laughter.
So anyway, Murdoch's in his office. He is contemplating his life because it very well may be over here. You have a madman with an HK light machine gun filling the walls with bits of lead. So we will see. Yeah.
Hey, John.
Crazy about that helicopter, huh? Crazy.
That little abort thing. Crazy.
Oh, no. Hold on. No.
He's gone, guys.
I will remember you.
How do I? Yeah, he's gone, man.
Say goodbye to what we. All right, Shant. Please tell us you're joking. Say you're joking. Say you're joking.
Tell me you're kidding. That might be it, man.
Yeah. Well, who knows?
Good guy. Real good
guy. So he doesn't shoot him. Pins him on the desk. Pulls out Lucille. I'm going to say the name of the knife is. And, but he doesn't. He doesn't.
Mission accomplished.
Right.
And he stabs a table next to his head.
Look at his face. This guy's just resigned to his fate here.
That's when he couldn't hold it back anymore. And he filled
it just all came out here.
Hershey squirts. He couldn't hold it back anymore. Hell, man, he tried to keep that turb cutter's closed, man. He couldn't do it. That shit came spilling out. So when he pulled that knife on him, man.
Right.
It's unfortunate. Another pair of pants bit the dust.
Right. And he walks out. There's chaos. There's the POW.
Sean is not dead. He's not
Don't
dead.
scare us like that. How you doing, Chatty Boss? You okay?
Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear me from the afterlife.
Okay, gotcha.
There we go.
I'm pretty sure that I'm now bleeding from my ears, nose, throat. It's pretty much it.
Ooh,
for me.
Ebola.
Okay.
It was great. Yeah, no, just a touch of monkeypox, but just a touch.
A light dose.
Oh Lord. Let's do this. Let's keep
All right.
pressing.
So yeah, so he doesn't stab him, Mr. Cobb, and then he walks out, and it's kind of that bittersweet ending of, okay, he sent a message to the bad guy, he killed the commies and all that, but the girl's dead, you know, and he's still betrayed by his country and all that stuff. And he starts to walk off, and you get a little bit of a, not a soliloquy, but he has a little bit of a dialogue with Troutman again. And then, you know, they get to this point, and he says something really beautiful here, and I'll have to paraphrase it because I can't quote it, but Troutman kind of asks him, well, what do you want? What do guys like you want? You know what I mean? From the public, from the Americans, from the bureaucrats, from everyone that mistreats these soldiers. And he says, we just want them to love us as much as we love this country, you know? And it's like, damn. You know, I haven't talked to many Vietnam vets. The men in my family that I knew were like World War II and Korean. One of them is a Vietnam veteran, but we don't talk about it much. But learning more about it, I know there's a lot of hurt feelings, a lot of shame, and a lot of resentment of being just hated and vilified in that counterculture 60s, 70s movement. So, but yeah, they have like their moment here, similar to First Blood, Rambo 1, where, you know, he's having the breakdown and he's sobbing and crying to Troutman. Not as dramatic here, more bitter, I guess, a little more, but also reflective. I don't know. What do you think of this scene?
I think he's definitely more jaded. You know, he's definitely has a callous built up now as far as in the trust department. So he's not going to let that affect him so much. And I don't think he's much like a guy for breaking down a lot. I mean, you got him to break down 3 years ago. So I don't think he's every time, you know, he's going to have this emotional moment. So he's past that. You know, he's realized who he can trust and who he can't. And one list is longer than the other. So he's just like, you know, man, as long as they're there, we're not done. We need to go back and get all those dudes and bring them home. And it's like, no shit. Like what government, especially on the level of America. Now I know a lot of there's, you know, if we have somebody's, if we have some prisoners of war, not just any country can tell us, hey, America, give us our people back, because they don't got it like that, either economically or militarily or whatever. But America does. America can pretty much ring up any leader of any country and say, give us our people back or else. We'll put financial sanctions on you. We'll pull our support, our military support, or if we have to, we'll come in and kick your ass. So we're in a unique position. And like I said, I don't know if there are still POWs out there from foreign wars, but there damn sure shouldn't be. Yeah, there damn sure shouldn't be. Imagine what that feels like to be a POW from America. You're an American soldier, and America didn't come get you. All that shit you've been taught, all that shit you would talk about your country and how proud you are, it's the greatest country in the world and all that shit, and then for them to do that to you?
Matthew Quinlan brings up a good point, though. We need to get all the lesbian WNBA players back first, Jericho.
How many of them are out there?
Hey,
I think we got them all.
Dude, you'd be surprised.
I think we got them.
And I've got the quote too here, because this was a quote that got me, man, where he goes, back to what he goes, Troutman, you don't belong here. Why don't you come back with me? And he says, back to what? My friends died here. Leo, let me die here. Troutman goes, the war, the whole conflict may have been wrong, but damn it, don't hate your country for it. And Rambo cuts him off. He's like, hate? I'd die for it. And then he goes, then what is it that you want? And he says, I want what they want, and every guy who came over here and spilled his guts and gave everything he had wants, for our country to love us as much as we love it. That's what I want.
Right.
There you go. Can't say any better than that.
Mic drop.
Yeah, that's heavy.
He walks off.
Heavy.
He walks off, and then there's this very on-the-nose song that plays after. Like, we just killed all the Viet Cong, and we're walking on the tarmac. Like, it's very descriptive at the end, but it's a great movie. And
you know that like a fun comedy movie, they'll have that thing at the end where it'll turn black and white, and they'll write on the screen, John went on to open an ice cream shop or whatever.
Yeah.
Or, Mary never graduated from high school. In the deleted scenes, John reminded me of this, John, in the chat. On the Blu-ray from the Criterion Collection, they do have that scene. It says, ironically, Murdoch lived to move home and open an eatery named
Guys, I'm trying not to die here.
He
John, we just got Sean back. We just
Hey,
got him off
welcome to
life support.
Lumpies, the home of the King Lumps. Home of the Lump Burger.
Hey, welcome to Lumpies, where everything comes in lump form.
Could I have a lump of Dr. Pepper and a lump of curly fries? And
Sure
can I get the lump of nacho cheese with the curly fries, please? And hold on. What do you want?
I'll
Can
get
we
a
get
lump
3
of
lumps
salad.
of egg rolls? The pork, not the chicken egg rolls.
Yeah.
Lumpy. Yeah. Okay.
I'll just have a lump of salad. That's all. A lump of salad and a lump of water.
Oh, okay. And a medium lump of Diet Coke. All right.
That's all.
They serve everything at Lumpy's with an ice cream scooper. Just an ice cream scooper filled with soda. They just pour it in your hands.
Hey, they take it serious at Lumpies. All right.
Right.
You're getting lumps, and that's it. Everything comes in lump form.
Will that be 1 lump or 2? Some like cartoon mascot. He has that voice. You know that one that's all crazy like that?
Yeah. And he's Kathy.
Lumpy the Lion says, "Hey kids, if you want a lumpy adventure meal, I can't even say it."
Hey kids, if you pull my tail, if you pull my tail, I'll shit my pants.
Oh, 10 lumps, 10 lumps will get you a free lump burger.
Oh God, make it stop.
My stomach actually, like my ab muscles. Goodness.
Jesus.
Fuck.
No. Oh, now John's trying to backpedal and he's gonna disavow the lumpy kids meal. Hey, you started this, John.
I can't listen to you fucking people right now. Silence.
Well, you get the teenage. Welcome to Lumpy's, home of the lump burger. How can I help you?
Welcome to Lumpies. How can I help you?
When you leave, he's all, have a lumpy day.
Kids, if you come in with your parents on Friday, you get a free double jack.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Rambo. First Blood Part 2.
Good
movie. It's
enough.
I think the great thing about it is that it's very different from the first one. So it doesn't just feel like a cheaper version of the first one. It's so different, but Rambo still has his heart. His heart gets ripped out, but he has that heart. You know what I mean? And he's a fighter and everything. But what are we on to next week? Because there was a little debate. Do we go to just the roller coaster that's Rambo 3, which is just like a nonsense movie? Or we said Cobra, though, first.
Cobra.
Yeah.
I'm leaning to Cobra. I feel like
we gotta do Cobra.
Yeah, I think we gotta do. We'll do 2 more Stallone. We'll give him 4 weeks. We'll give him his month. So it is Stallone-uary after all.
That's right.
Oh my gosh, Matthew Quillen says over the top.
Yeah.
As stupid as that movie is, it has heart. That movie, it does.
But it is a bad movie.
Yeah.
It is a terrible movie.
I'm not going down this road, Plush. Welcome to Rumpy's Raggy.
Damn you people.
Welcome to Rumpy's Raggy.
Okay, Raggy. Hey,
damn you, sir, Mr. Hoffa. Damn you.
you know, Scoob, those lumpy burgers sure are good.
Oh, fuck.
Stop it. No, Hulk Smash. We're not doing
Hell no. Oh, my Lord. That movie is fucking awful.
God help us all.
I mean, R.I.P. Sophia, but that movie is fucking terrible.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's something.
There was that scene in this movie they cut out where him and the pals were talking about, hey, when we get back to the world, what are you going to get a lumpy burger, man? and then it was really sad. The saddest part is the pals,
they didn't know about Lumpy Burger because it had opened after they had been imprisoned, so they'd never even heard
It
it.
sucked. They don't even know what they're missing.
You never had a lump burger, man? It's delicious. It's the best.
Hey, you mean we can get lumpy burgers on every corner in America now?
That's right. That's right. And you're gonna be there, Fred. You're gonna be there eating a lumpy fry.
They get the lumpies. We don't like your kind around here who serve your country. What the fuck?
Hey, you know what I want to get when we get back home? I want to get a bag of fresh lumpy right off the grill.
God, I love this chat. I love this show, guys.
Yeah,
this
this
is like whatever kind of week you're having, man. You come in here, and it's always a fucking blast. I don't know, you can't make this shit up, dude. It's beautiful.
That was completely unnecessary.
Yep, glorious.
That
was the stomach pains I didn't need.
Right.
Yeah.
No, man.
Seriously.
All right. I think Cobra. We'll do Cobra next week.
All right, deal.
Marion Cobretti.
That's his name in that one. So.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that movie.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
That's a fun one. Well, guys, if you had fun, make sure you hit the like. Make sure you're subbed to Shanth and make sure you're subbed to Jericho. And we'll be here next Wednesday. What day will it be? It'll be February 27th. The month is flying by. It's a short month, guys. It's a short month. But yeah, next Wednesday, the 22nd at 7 p.m. Pacific. Sylvester Stallone is Marion Cobretti. What a great opening to the grocery store scene and all that. Fantastic opening in that movie. So thank you for joining us tonight, guys. It's absolutely a fantastic time. And remember, Tuesdays, kids eat free at Lumpy's. Remember to bring your parents down to Lumpy's and get a free kids action meal.
And if your parents get 10 lumps, we'll take your dad in the back alley and give him a hand job.
No.
Oh, yes, we will. If you're here when I'm working, I'll do it.
He doesn't actually work here, folks. I don't know. He wandered in off the street.
That's actually all I do. They bring me in on Fridays just to do hand jobs. They call me Mr. Double Jack.
And if you guys see our wives, just make sure you don't tell them about the stream.
Please don't.
All right. All right. Well, have a lumpy rest of the week, guys. We will talk to
See ya.
you later.